The Super Bowl is in 2 weeks, but if you aren't in the trenches grinding right now, you need to watch a different video. It's the road to 250K.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you're not early, you're late. I just got back in from walking the dog, and I figured, why not start early? You know, I'm not trying to run from the grind, and I know that you guys aren't trying to run from the grind either. You know how I know? Because as of right now, the big board is already 4.8% full. 4.8% full for the big board. The little board, you might ask, well, surely there's less appetite for that. Nope. 7.9% full for the big board. Rabona King asking a question about exposures. Here's the deal. You guys are going to be able to watch every single pick that I make in the big board, because every single pick on the big board is going to be done live on stream. Let's go ahead and continue the road to $250,000. We're getting in the lobby right now. How is everyone doing on this fine January 28th afternoon? Are we doing good? Are we doing great? Are we having good days? Are we living our truth? By the way, there's going to be a surprise guest in the second half of the show. I'm not going to tell you guys who the surprise guest is in case they are not able to figure it out, but I think there's going to be a surprise guest that you guys really like. I believe, Pepper Tony, that Best Ball V2 is just the 20-round version of Best Ball. So it's this version of Best Ball where there are 20 rounds. I believe that's all it means. In fact, I could go and scour the rules, but I'm not going to. But let's call it. I'm 87% sure that's what it is. The big boards don't feel exactly quite like Best Ball Mania does. Big board, Best Ball, fantasy football. It's so back. We've never been so back. I just this morning recorded a video on Big Board ADP that's going to go live on Saturday. I am traveling on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be back Monday afternoon. Needed to have some stuff up on YouTube. There's been some pretty big changes in... I forgot to upload my rankings. But I've got a little bit of time before this fills. So let me go over to patreon.com/DavisMattek and go download my own rankings. Joe hates the Chiefs. Well, you're not alone, brother. Many people hate the Kansas City Chiefs. Many people, many such cases. I'm going to stream. It's 12:52 p.m. Central Time right now. I'm probably going to stream until about 3:30. I'd like to get 3 big boards done today, if possible. So that would be nice. Patreon.com/DavisMattek. We're going to go and download my own rankings. Downloaded. Done. Beautiful. Very simple. Rankings. Upload. CSV upload. Bang. Done. Save. See, I didn't even have my rankings in because I haven't been drafting off stream. Just been doing little board slows. This is my 3rd streamed big board. So this is 3 of 150. 3 of 150. Draft starts. Have not got the 101 yet. A little bit unfortunate. It just depends. How many rookies do you feel is the right? I think it just depends. I don't think there's a right answer. Where do you think the edge is in these contests in comparison? I would say right now, the edge is knowing where the rookies are going to be drafted in the NFL draft, which rookies are going to have good combines. Also, just like building teams that make sense. I do think pretty strongly that St. Brown over CD is right, but that's a big ADP gap. These guys are all really flat. You know what? No, we're taking. I don't know, man. Oh, well, the thing is, Chase is going to be even harder to get this year. GM, tied in BR. It's pretty funny. Kansas City will probably take an offensive lineman with the 32nd pick in the NFL draft. They would maybe think about I think they would think about taking Tyler Warren, but he's going to be gone by the time they pick. What if I told you the Chiefs might take Harold Fannin? It's always possible. CD, yeah. This is where the 0RB brain takes over. Puka, St. Brown, CD, Nico, Neighbors, Thomas. GM, Justin. Giving everyone time to trickle in. I did start early. I don't know if Fannin is going to be a second round pick. I mean, I would maybe take him there, but I don't know if he would need to be a second round pick. Brian Thomas and Devin A-Chain. Very, very slappy start here. Well, I already know who I'm going to take. Oh, he got taken. Never mind. I was going to say, I already know who I'm going to take, but BG Lakers 10 said, you don't get to have Ashton Genty in this draft. Same time as always, Wednesday mornings. All right, Ladd or McBride here. I guess not sure it gets slappier than that. Does not get slappier than St. Brown and Ladd. I don't think Amarian Hampton is being overdrafted. I think it's just about right. Let's see. I have Hampton ranked. I've got him ranked ahead of ADP, which feels right. Like, I do like him more than Hubbard. Like him a lot more than Judkins and Henderson. There are just so many teams that need a running back. Yeah, Fannin. So here's the deal. This is why I think Fannin could be different. Kind of like unlike Ben Sinnott and some of these other guys. The team that takes him is not going to be under any doubt of what they're drafting. I think with a lot of these tight ends that we like, sometimes the teams take them and they're like, oh, maybe he can play this position. Maybe he could do this in our offense. I think probably with Fannin, there's not going to be that issue. I think the team that takes Fannin is just like, wait, he's basically our slot wide receiver. I would compare it to how Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers are viewed by their teams. Like, Brock Bowers basically was just the third wide receiver for the Raiders. All right, this is going to set up pretty... No, we're just going to get to take two running backs I actually hate. Oh, I have Worthy after ADP. How about that? I did not do any ADP blending with my rankings. So that is... I'll probably do a reconfigured version of them tomorrow. I've not gotten to test drive these yet. Do we take Kyron? I don't think so. Because I think I like these guys better. All right, we've got Goff set up. We've got Herbert set up. What's ADP? Sure. No. Kyron. Nimble fingers. Do you guys see that? It's January 28th, and I still have the nimblest fingers in the game. So another thing is I'm really out on early quarterback in these drafts. I feel like quarterback is one of the positions we can have some real certainty. Well, no, I have Kyron ranked there. So that was a test of the rankings. That right there, what we just did, that was a gut check of my rankings. And I think the Rams take a running back, but man, it's like we're running back year 2 of, well, surely the Rams will just stop giving Kyron the ball all the time. Surely someone else will get the ball, and then no one else gets the ball. I need to come back to that point about early quarterback here in a second. Because I think a lot of the best values on the board right now are the late quarterbacks. Okay. Marvin Harrison. Feels like a good, yeah. I got Marvin Harrison ranked a lot of positional spots ahead there. Sets up a cheap quarterback. Corum will be back, but if you look at, there's a tool on RotoViz that I'm never able to find. Basically, running backs who get drafted in the 3rd round and then never play, that is not a spot that you like to be in. I believe it's the RotoViz screener. If I can get this to load, we'll run the Blake Corum screener, but it's not going to be good. Basically, it's 3rd round running back who never got the ball. Okay, age 25, year in NFL 1. What was Blake Corum's weight? We'll go 218 to 205. We'll give it 200. Blake Corum was a 3rd round pick. We'll do 60 to 90. We'll do 60 to 100. Don't let me miss a pick. It was about them. Honestly, Liam is right. Dalton Kincaid is way too cheap. This guy is not getting benched. Like, it's just not happening. And I should be able to, if I want Hampton, I probably have to take him here. If I want Hampton, it's Hampton or Caleb. Hampton I can, do we do Addison? It's the ADP. ADP value is Addison. Yeah, let's do Addison because I like Caleb Johnson coming back around. Yeah, Ricky Pearsall is a strong one. Yes. I mean, yeah, like I don't think Dalton Kincaid is not good, but he's on a team that does not have very many options. Okay. I think I ran the RotoViz screener correct. I think that Darnold is Tennessee or Las Vegas. That is my read right now. Debo is for sure going to be on another team, but he might go to a good spot for him. I kind of like Debo. Can't really. Where do I? Yeah, see, I've got I guess I have Debo ranked right at ADP. All right. Quinshawn is a good pair with Kyron. I got my first star method today in the little board. Well, Ward just might not be very good. Is the thing. All right. Back to the RotoViz screener. Corum had 207 rush yards. I don't need the play-by-play query. This is too hard for me to do on stream, I think. There is a way to run this though, and get the N+1, but I'm not smart. I'll just run it on Pro Football Reference. I mean, if Caleb Johnson is a Cowboy, where are you taking? Where are you taking Quinshawn if he's a Cowboy? A lot of teams will eat $31 million in dead money. And I think it's actually less than that, if I remember correctly. All right, football season finder. Single season, descending fantasy points, PPR. We'll go 2015 to 2024. Running back. Biographical filter. Draft status. Drafted in round 3 to 3. Rushing yards less than 300. And games over, we'll go 13. So here are some third-round running backs with fewer than 300 rushing yards. And you tell me how many of these guys really became values that you would have liked the next year. Hold on. We do have to pick. These picks are actually getting through. Oh, this is a great spot here. I'm liking this 7th and 8th round. These are good picks a lot. They're running backs that I like. Warren, Pollard. Wide receivers I like. I really like McMillan. Like him a good bit more than ADP. McMillan makes sense. Hawkinson makes sense. You know what? Let's do Jalen Warren. Right? Yeah, because there's going to be a wide receiver I like coming around. And this is going to be a 3 quarterback, 3 tight end team. All right, so these are the Blake Corum comps. McKinnon, who... Oh, I didn't even run first year of their career. Biographical filter. First year of their career. First year. There we go. This is Pro Football Reference or StatHead. These are really, it's a very cool website. I actually would really encourage you guys. I actually have a referral code, but it's not even in my bio. So these are actually, here you go. So these are actually non-zeros. Kenyon Drake wasn't a 0. Bigsby was not a 0. And Connor was the exact opposite of a 0. So, all right, there we go. There's some serious optimism. Yeah, no, that was not what I thought it would be. Niall Davis was a 0, but that is going way back. So the Blake Corum comps that's kind of interesting, actually. I would not have thought that. I would have thought they were way worse. And if you think, I guess, like, how did those guys get there? So Bigsby got there because ETN was bad. Connor got there because Le'Veon held out, right? 2018 was the Le'Veon holdout year. Or Le'Veon got injured. This was the Le'Veon holdout year. Okay. And then Drake was... Go take a wide receiver. All the wide receivers I liked did get taken except for Matthew Golden. So we now have a wide receiver room of St. Brown, Ladd, Marvin Harrison, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden. So we have got Goff live. We've got Kyler live. We have got McCarthy live. Herbert is gone, though. No, Herbert is still there. Okay, so all of our quarterbacks are live. Feel good about that. Drake got traded, not his second year, right? 2017. How did he end up smashing? I guess he didn't really smash. Damian Williams was on that team. So why didn't he get work as a rookie? Because Jay Ajayi was smashing. 4.9 yards per carry. Okay. Well, that is illuminating research, I think. Bo Nix, pick 89, huh? There you go. Jay Ajayi got hurt. So it's basically, I guess, the Kyren Williams, Blake Corum. The Kyren Williams, Blake Corum thing is, do they take another running back? And just spilled some bum energy drink on my face. Tough scene. Who is this year's Darren Waller? I mean, isn't it probably Travis Kelce or Zach Ertz? Pretty likely to be one or the other. Yeah, I remember the Jordan Howard thing. This is my third big board. I've done 3 little boards. Biggest takeaways is running backs are being pretty overvalued. Gibbs in the second round. Mixon in the third. I don't love Hubbard. I don't love Kamara. It's just like drafting last year, honestly. Taysom might not come back. He might not come back. Okay, well, there we go. We have Justin Herbert with Ladd McConkey. Is there... Well... You know what? I'm actually going to push it at quarterback. And I'm going to take Tyler Warren. I like Tyler Warren a good bit. Who is this year's CMC? I mean, it's probably Derrick Henry. 31-year-old running back going in the second round. Has a 31-year-old running back ever gone in the second round of a fantasy football draft? It's a good question. That's another filter we can run. Descending fantasy points from 2015 to 2024. Running back, regular season. Remove. Year of player's career. Remove. Age 31 to 32. PPR fantasy points. Let's go over 280. None. No running backs in the last 10 years have scored over 280 PPR points. What about 240 PPR points? Raheem Mostert scored 267 PPR points. Huh. Has anyone else had this issue? Bindles, send me a DM and I will invite you. I will get you in. But has anyone else had this YouTube membership issue when you've had your YouTube on and then not been able to join? Bang. And we get Justin Herbert to follow us. So we have Justin Herbert, Kyron Williams, Quinshawn Judkins, Jalen Warren, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Lad McConkey, Marvin Harrison, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, and Tyler Warren. Saquon is not 31 years old. Demario Douglas is not a particularly good half PPR fantasy player. Is the issue. Like, did Demario Douglas matter last season? Demario Douglas scored 114 half PPR points. So if you divide that by 17, he scored 6.7 points per game. So what do you win when you win? What's the point of Demario Douglas? What are you hoping to accomplish with that selection? Is Evan Ingram getting cut this offseason? Seems like yes. Seems like he is getting cut. I looked this up on the very first stream. Evan Ingram in 2025, he counts $19 million against the cap, but they only save $7 million if they cut him. So maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say. Not really a meme coin guy. Demario Douglas is not as good as Josh Downs. Maybe similar play style, but certainly not as good. So the issue with Dylan Sampson is he is too small. Kind of hard for that guy to really be a guy you want in half PPR. Hard for him to score enough. If Ingram and Kirk are both gone from the Jacksonville Jaguars, they will draft someone. Because Parker Washington's not very good either. All right. This is definitely Isaiah Bond or Brian Robinson Jr. Isaiah Bond, baby. That's pretty strong. Trying to get Isaiah Bond right now before he runs a 4.3 at the combine. Because that's definitely going to happen. He will not. Demario Douglas will never be a top 150 pick. Like here, for example, Wan'Dale Robinson last season had 93 receptions and he scored 136 fantasy points. Just not really super valuable for this scoring system, sadly. If it was full PPR, you'd definitely want him. Love Harold Fannin Jr. Big Harold Fannin Jr. Pro Football Reference is free. I think StatHead costs $8 a month, maybe. Travis Hunter is $197 because he is a cornerback. Cornerbacks don't play very much offense. Gadsden. Yeah, I think the issue with Gadsden is he is going to just be a super gadget player in the NFL because I believe he weighed in at the combine yesterday at 220. I can look, or not the combine, the 230. No, he's actually listed at 215 on the Syracuse website. All right, we need a running back or a quarterback. Oh, Devin Neal, dude. Easy. Bang. Devin Neal at 138. You love to see it. God damn, they're just letting me kill this draft. Yes. Well, no. I think there is no there's absolutely no way that Travis Hunter will say definitively, or that the team will say definitively he's doing one or the other. I like Travis Hunter at this cost. The thing is, though, you can't really get him there. I mean, I bet he already went in this draft. Yeah, see, he just went 139. He does not actually go where his ADP says he is. Sure, I will bet you $25 that Josh Downs scores more points than Demario Douglas in half PPR this year. Pressers Radio. Get in touch with me in the Discord. You have to make the notation yourself. You can, Fantasy Football Dad, you can create a notation. You can name your team the day that you draft. You can put whatever information you want. Well, I mean, he said that, and then Dion said that, and then all the scouts said that. So that's sort of why people think he's playing cornerback. But other than everyone saying he's going to play cornerback, it's true. Yeah, all you have to do is if you click on this little eye right here, you have to wait for the draft to be over. But I gotta make my pick. What do I need? I need Darnold. No, not Darnold. I need McCarthy. Do I have to take McCarthy now? No, I need a tight end. Oh, I'm gonna take Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts at 151 is legit. No, you can do it. You can do it on your. There you go. You can name it on your phone mid-draft on mobile, not on desktop. Star method. That you can clearly tell my brain is not in rhythm though, because that Minnesota on Darnold just tricked me. Oh yeah, I mean don't get me wrong. I think Hunter is a good-ish pick in this range. Like if you wanted to take Travis Hunter over Quentin Johnston, I think that's fine. But I think it would kind of be jumping the shark to take him over guys like Romeo Doubs or Keenan Allen, just because he's not going to play that much. Yes, do not get me wrong. Kyle Pitts is terrible. But look at the guys he's positionally being drafted around. Look, we all love Harold Fannin, and I've got him ranked ahead of ADP. But Harold Fannin is like a gadget tight end. Dalton Schultz, 91 points last year. Hunter Henry got every target, led the team in targets, 112 points. Kyle Pitts is never going to be a floor player, but he can spike. I'm not looking to build a huge Kyle Pitts position, but I do think like he's going after Colston Loveland, for example. Okay, let's do either need to take McCarthy here. Yeah, there's no difference in these running backs, so I'm going to take McCarthy. So we've got McCarthy and Addison. Current best value tight end is Ferguson, Jake Ferguson. Yeah, I think it's could be Goddard. 10.5 Dallas Goedert is pretty big. It's definitely not Kittle or Laporta, I can tell you that. Yeah, Higbee is a fine click. If they were cash games, I don't know really. How would it change my strategy? Probably more. I'd probably do like 4 tight ends every time. Yeah, I'm not gonna have like a 1,000,000,000% Taysom, but he is a round 20 pick. He did tear his ACL, which is like, he's an old man who tore his ACL. Conklin kind of is always like, I don't know. Conklin is like what's the right way to say it? I don't know. He's kind of like Demario Douglas. It's like, what's the point? What do you win when you win? You win very little. Drake May, Pro Bowler. You guys woke? Jaden Higgins is a good pick. Jaden Higgins is a very good pick. 14th round though. We can't have nice things in this world, boys. Yeah, I don't know if I would do 0 Taysom. There's no way this is true. Is there any way this is true? 2024 fantasy point scoring. I think he did have a good week 17, but I don't think week 17. Yeah, no, he wasn't even close. Trey McBride, Zach Ertz, Travis Kelce all scored way more points than him. But he did, to be fair to him, he didn't get 0. So if you don't get 0, that's fine. Okay. Time to get serious about running backs. I mean, this is a Braylon Allen-ass pick. Fades after strong start to the season. Kyron, Judkins, Warren, Neal, Braylon, St. Brown, Herbert with Ladd, McCarthy with Addison, Marvin Harrison, Matthew Golden, Isaiah Bond. No, I'm not taking Deontay Johnson. I'm not taking the guy who got cut by 3 teams this year. I buy it a little bit. I think he's kind of expensive in these drafts. But I definitely, I'll say this, I don't not buy it. Yeah, this is certainly the running back room you look at in the you're checking your big board results. You're like, how'd I get that team through? And you're like, wow, shit. Oh yeah, it is a Kendra team for sure. Well, oftentimes you do take guys who are bad at football, but just get the ball a lot. Okay. There's so many freaking good running backs late, and I don't have Kendra ranked high enough. I should move him up a little bit. Dang, Fields went. That's who I wanted. All right, what do we got at tight end? It's all pretty flat here. Let's take AD Mitchell. That, who's the guy who's giving me a hard time? Pressers something. That is the guy. That is an example of a guy who's being absolutely underdrafted, who just like is being drafted at his absolute floor. That's kind of how you make money. You take guys who are being drafted at their absolute floor, not guys who are being drafted at their absolute ceiling. All right, let's go to targets per route run from last season, because I've been quoting this stat and I need to get the actual targets per route run at the end of the day. All right, minimum we'll do 254. Sure, why not? Targets per route run. 80 Mitch. Oh, he must have fell a lot. Or he didn't have enough routes. Well, let's just go Colts. Maybe he didn't run enough routes. Okay, 25% targets per route run. How many routes do I have to do to get him included here? We'll do 166. So targets per route run. He's not showing up in the filter, but same targets per route run as Chris Godwin, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Khalil Shakir, Wicks, Mims, Chase, Jefferson. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you got to draft bad players. Well, what if their quarterback is different next year? What if I think there are a lot of ways. Let me tell you this. I would definitely rather take A.D. Mitchell than Jordan Whittington. Who's going to be the DeMarcus Robinson Slappy this year? All right, we need one more running back. Don't do it, Slide Tomato. You got the goat horns, bro. I think I would lean no on Thielen retiring. He played so well. I think his contract is pretty nice, I think. Hold on. Let me take... Okay, Slide Tomato did take Kendre Miller. Let's do... You know what? This room needs an adult. Let's do Justice Hill. All right, Adam Thielen contract. Adam Thielen makes $8 million next year. Yeah, I don't think he's retiring. I think he's going to take $8 million. Goat horns is just if you win any contest. BR, best ball, whatever. If you win, you get the goat horns. Drafting like Ertz does not retire. Well, I don't know. They definitely like him. I will say that. The Commanders definitely like Zach Ertz. That is 100% true. Caden Prather. I don't understand that one. Been through a lot of these wide receiver prospects. No Jordan Mason. No Jordan Mason, no Guerrero, no Elijah Mitchell. That could be a mistake, but I don't know. Jordan Mason was pretty brutal. Ah, there you go. Ertz said yesterday he's not retiring. Okay. We should all be clicking that button. Is he still there? Can I still take him now? Or is he gone? I can't take him. All right, I do need a tight end. What is Tyler Higbee's contract situation? Is he still a Ram for sure? Tyler Higbee is still a Ram. I'm taking Tyler Higbee. That's a pretty sneaky one. Sauce Team 10. All right. Well, very slappy start. Malik Neighbors, Ashton Jeanty. Where do you get your ideas from ship chasing videos? Xavier Worthy. Why don't you draft Xavier Worthy and Zay Flowers? Maybe draft a wide receiver who's ever eaten a meal. Dude, this is a 10 out of 10 slappy. Jalen Waddle and Brandon Ayuk. How many snaps combined are those guys going to play? Continuing with 2021's greatest hits, Tony Pollard, Josh Downs. Do you have one wide receiver on this team who weighs more than 182 pounds? I don't think you do. You have Caleb Johnson's new backup, Ramondre Stevenson, Travis Etienne. Didn't work out for those other people, but maybe it'll work for you. Do you even have to sass Dalton Kincaid? Or can you simply Dalton Kincaid sauced himself. Games played between Anthony Richardson and Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe the two quarterbacks with the least dog in them in the NFL. I think he just Dontavian Wicks, Ray Davis, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jordan Mason, Marshawn Lloyd. Did you did you just draft every Slappy guy? Did you just go through and you were like, okay, who is the most Slappy pick at every spot? Marshawn Lloyd is pretty good. I mean, that is a good bit. Ball is life, FF. That's how it's done. Yeah, he just did. He was like, you know what? This team doesn't need an adult in the room. 10 out of 10. No notes. Incredible team. Yeah, I think he might have been using my rankings from last year. It's possible. I don't know if you can define Slappy. I think it's sort of like you know it when you see it. Oh, these guys took all my quarterbacks. They took Milroe and Dart. I feel like Green Bay probably takes a running back, is the thing. Tez Johnson, one of the few wide receivers in the NFL who weighs less than me. God, this is how down bad this team is. I'm going to have to take Russell Wilson. It's either Russell Wilson or Derek Carr. All right. Well, you know what? I took Russell Wilson because I think there is a chance that he ends up quarterbacking with Tyler Warren on one of those teams. Team 9. Nico Bowers Cook. It's a very strong start. Where do you get your ideas? DJ Moore. Aren't you worried? That is way too early for Pat, dude. Cannot be taken 5th round unstacked Pat. And then Slappy Reed, Jacoby Myers, I hate. Trey Harris. See, the thing is I like Pearsall. I think I have Bond ranked ahead of Harris, actually. Spears, drafting a running back with no ACLs. Dowdle is one of the worst picks on the board. All you got to do is press the join button, brother. In fact, here, I'll make it even easier for you. I'll just put the link in the YouTube chat. Because people say you can't do it on mobile. People say it's very difficult to do on mobile. So I will share the link in the chat. Look, don't let me tell you not to take Mahomes, but I'm not taking unstacked 5th round Mahomes this year. You guys can quote me on that. Here, are you guys ready for who Pat Kerrane and Peter Overzet are going to tell you guys to take in round 9 in Best Ball Mania? Ricky White, brother. Ricky White's one of my favorite picks. All right. We did Justin Herbert, JJ McCarthy, Russell Wilson. Don't love that. Kyron Williams, Quinshawn Judkins, Jalen Warren, Devin Neal, Braylon Allen, Justice Hill. That is a very adult running back room for me. For me, that is about as adult as a running back room gets. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ladd McConkey, Marvin Harrison, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Isaiah Bond, A.D. Mitchell, Ricky White. That is a slap-ass wide receiver room. Yes, Dowdle is literally speed running. He's a free agent, dude. It's over. Yeah, Warren is very slappy. Warren at pick 79 is pretty slappy. Tyler Warren, Kyle Pitts, Tyler Higbee. I'm giving that team another B-. I think that's a B-. Not great. Not bad. Could be the winner, but probably not the winner. Here you go, pressers. Thank you. And you're going to get your membership money back by beating me when Demario Douglas is the guy you need. Oh, the big board. Oh, it's going to give me this error. It's going to say, oh, no, it didn't. All you have to do to join the Discord is if you link, it's the same way Peter's works. All you have to do is link your YouTube to Discord, and it'll pop you right in. Ben, I owe you one. This draft just started. I do owe you one, okay? Don't let me forget. Guys, don't let me forget that I owe Ben a sauce. Yeah, Dowdle is probably a handcuff, but it's not like Dowdle is like this super talented player or anything. I don't know. I think I would rather take Devin Neal straight up over him. Yes. Mental note. I owe Ben a sauce. Stefan, did you do it on your phone? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is very annoying. As someone who is trying to make a living off of YouTube, that they make it. Wow. Put it on the record. Davis Mattek just drafted Saquon Barkley. I capitulated. It's over. Saquon Barkley at the 1.3. The running back people win. Wow, this is quite literally perfect timing. Not sure there could be more perfect timing for what just happened. Mr. Sherman.
What's up, Davis? Barkley?
I literally just took Saquon just capitulated, dude.
I love it. Is that your stance in 2025? Just capitulating to first round Barkley? I think I will.
I mean, how do you fight it? What could you possibly say that would be like, you know what? I'm actually just not gonna take this guy. You know? Like what is the contrarian opinion that could lead you there? Like he's somehow gonna get more inefficient?
Yeah, it's really hard, especially after watching what he's done in the playoffs. I mean, I think a lot of people also will cite his regular season stats and not factor in the massive games he's had in the playoffs, which make a season even more impressive. So I don't know. I was wrong to fade him last year. I don't know what the point is. I guess if I'm making the contrarian case, you could say, Gibbs and Bijan, a couple years younger. They also had awesome seasons. Like I'll get my running back exposure through those guys, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take Barkley where he goes.
Your alternative is either you lose with everyone else or you just spend second year in a row just logging in and getting shit canned every time. Like, say, oh great, I'm advancing 8% of my teams again. How could this possibly have happened?
Yeah, what could have possibly gone wrong? I mean, and I think people just have to admit, like, a big part of the Barkley fade was looking at all of his stats on the Giants and being like, oh, he's over the hill, he's washed. I mean, we have to admit that was completely wrong. And Daniel Jones, who would have thought Daniel Jones was masking Saquon Barkley's potential? Who could have seen that coming?
You know what though is so annoying is the haters were so right, dude. He didn't catch any he didn't catch any passes. He didn't get any goal line carries. Jalen Hurts scored a bazillion touchdowns again. The haters were right, and it didn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? The haters got it exactly correct.
Yeah, they just forgot that the Eagles were one of the best 3 offenses in the NFL, and you don't have to get things perfect when you just have an all-star player on a really good offense, I guess. But yeah, it's true. It's like Jalen Hurts stole 12, 13 rushing touchdowns, and it still didn't really matter for Barkley. It's insane.
You want to know what's incredible is his season last year still was not better than Dalvin Cook's best season.
Yeah,
for fantasy.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I think Barkley's had the 5th best PPR season since 2020, but you're right. I think there's a Kamara season in there that's better. Anyways, what are you thinking here?
McBride, I like. I mean, we could get him coming around. I like Bucky. I need to change this ranking on. I think for the bit we should just take T though, right?
Yeah, probably should do it for the bit.
I think we have to do it for the bit.
Yeah, I mean, he did have less yards per route run than Adam Thielen last year, but I still think even with that, still a solid second round pick.
No, it's certainly true. I mean, the people certainly miss his unique brand of hating. Is this your first time seeing 2025 ADP?
So I did one of these drafts like at halftime of the Chiefs game, maybe. So not the first time. I think I only had Hayden's default ranks built in there when I took a look at it. Other than that, I've poked around a little, but this is my second draft.
All right. It's good to know.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on with any of the rookies, to be honest. So like, don't ask me my takes on, Xavier Restrepo or whoever. I have no idea who these guys are. They're just names.
It's a pretty bad class. You want Brees? Actually, Garrett Wilson's probably the right pick on this team.
I'm fine with Garrett Wilson. Yeah, man. It seems like, again, this is just like early takes. Like there's a pretty solid first, I don't know, 18 or so picks. And then I feel like it really flattens out in this range. Like I feel like you could have made an argument for a bunch of guys here, and I have a hard time sorting through, but Wilson seems good. The question, I guess, is what is the quarterback situation there? But really, really early to say now, I guess.
What if he's not a Jet, dude?
I mean, then you can start to dream. He could be what team's in the trade market for a wide receiver? I guess Commanders, maybe Steelers.
Everyone.
Yeah. I guess everyone. If it's Garrett Wilson, everyone's in the market on that contract, especially. But
I would say teams that could conceivably tell themselves that Garrett Wilson is better than their first round pick, where he would immediately spike for fantasy. The Chiefs, he would certainly be more valuable than their first round pick. What about the Commanders? The Commanders, I think, in their playoff game against the Eagles, they saw the career, like, that playoff game was, we're trying to make this work with De'Ami Brown and Olamide Zaccheaus and Jamison Crowder and Zach Ertz. The Packers would be the number one team that would be like, dude, we have 16 wide receiver 2s, and we don't have a wide receiver 1.
Panthers, I think, are another one that I could see talking themselves into a big swing at wide receiver. I think they want to see what they have in Bryce Young. The Deontay Johnson thing failed. The Leggett thing looks like it didn't completely hit. I could see that one as well. Not as exciting for Wilson's fantasy value, but just a team I think that would be in the mix.
Leggett, I think, is fine. Leggett is
I think he's all right.
Sure, he's gonna stick around the NFL for 8 years, the way that Marquez Valdes-Scantling is stuck around. But I don't think he's ever going to be like a guy earning like 9 targets a game or whatever.
Yeah. The other thing, Davis, I didn't really think about it, but what are your thoughts on taking Jaden Daniels like at the 2-3 turn? I mean, if Lamar and Josh Allen are going that high, are you in on that?
No, these are like the worst picks in the pool, these quarterbacks.
You think so?
Because, well, it's not like if we were doing this in August, sure, maybe I would take them there. But like look at the 17th and 18th round picks. You're like, yeah, Derek Carr's playing. Matthew Stafford's playing. Kirk Cousins is going to play. He's going to be terrible, but he's going to play. Like if you just think about how fantasy points are distributed, you're like, okay, here's round 18 ADP. Justin Fields is next to Isaac Guerrero.
Yeah.
I feel pretty confident which one of those guys is a better pick. So it's not even about them, but it's just about
like the uncertainty at this time in the calendar of who the running backs and wide receivers are. That makes sense.
The money rounds in these drafts. It's not until it's 11 months from now, Yeah. But I know Derek Carr is going to be out there.
On the Saints, I think Derek Carr will be a starter somewhere. Probably the Saints. I guess there are ways for them to get rid of him, but it doesn't save them a ton of money.
as Corain said this the other day, he's like, they could get out of it conceivably, but it would be like an all-time reversal of the entire organization that they've done for the last, 6 years or whatever.
I mean, they just gave him a contract extension like this offseason. So, yeah, they don't save much money at all, even with a post-June 1st cut. So,
we could I would be open to Jaden Daniels here. I mean, I would prefer probably Rashi or Pickens or Tet. Oh, Jaden Daniels
he just went
anyway.
I like Addison. I actually don't know the latest on like what's the deal with Rashi's injury. He has that like PLC tendon thing, which is like weird, right?
I mean, it sounded like maybe they thought he could maybe even come back for this postseason.
Okay. I'd probably, I'm fine with going Rashid then if it sounds like he's
I haven't really taken him yet at all.
Yeah. I just like I'm a little hesitant to take the injured guys this early on, but I guess he's one of those guys that could swing either way if we get good news. Like his fair value if he's healthy is probably, late second round pick, something like that. So
I mean, he still probably is going to get suspended.
Yeah, that's true too. But
maybe he won't. But like maybe he won't though also.
Yeah.
Like remember Jordan Addison's suspension?
Yeah, I guess that's coming next year. But I don't know. Like that one specifically, I think, is the LA County court system is extremely slow in processing things. That's what I think Hayden or someone else was talking about.
What about the Dallas DA's office or whatever? What do they have going on?
I don't know. I had no idea what's going on with that. But
I'm surprised you didn't want newest New England Patriots wide receiver Tet McMillan.
If he's going to the Patriots, I'll be hammering him here. I mean,
he is. I think he's pretty likely to go to the Patriots.
Yeah, it seems like people aren't as high as him as they were like the 3 wide receivers last year, right?
Have you watched him play yet? I think Rome is a really good pick here. Rome or Kenneth Walker or Hampton. What do you think?
You think Rome over Jameson?
I think
I like both. I'm good with Rome.
Let's do.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever you want to do.
Rome lets you be a Caleb Williams Slappy, a Ben Johnson Slappy. We'll do JMO. I mean, I had JMO ranked higher.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the JMO. I guess it depends on how much you think Ben Johnson leaving impacts the offense, but he was so good last year on like a per route basis. I wouldn't be surprised if things even out more between him and Amon-Ra next year. Like I could see that continuing to close the gap, but we'll see. I
mean, Amon-Ra has the more. He's probably more of the Ben Johnson got him his production, whereas like JMO's just like an insanely good player.
Yeah, his speed is like one of, I don't know, put him with like Brian Thomas and Nico Collins. He's got to be like top 5 in terms of like with the ball in his hands, he can just take it to the house in any play. So he's a guy that I was fading and I just like immediately capitulated after watching 5 games. I was like, figured it out. Figured it out. Like, what's the point of fading this anymore?
No, 100%. Rome, I don't know. I feel like next year is going to be such an interesting, actually Shane Waldron and Eberflus were really that bad at their jobs as like the Bears are just like easily gaining first downs and scoring points. That could certainly go the other way. But also Ben Johnson had like the opportunity to go anywhere. Like every team wanted him and teams were going to give him like all kinds of power. And he was like, no, I want to go to the Bears, which is historically like a really lose-lose situation. Like every coach that has gone to the Bears has immediately been out of football like soon. Like remember Mark Trestman? Mark Trestman, bro? He had to go to Canadian football. That's how bad it went.
Yeah, the coach and quarterback turnover in Chicago over the last 10 years. I mean, the quarterback turnover is probably only rivaled by Cleveland maybe. It's been pretty brutal.
People are wondering if Justin Fields' ADP this year is worse than his ADP in the big board last year when he was the quarterback 6.
When he was going in the 70s, even though he clearly was not going to be a starter in the NFL, that was a wild time.
He did pay off for 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we draft for weeks 1 through 4 is what
famously
many people are saying.
Yeah. Ben Johnson looked at the Caleb Williams tape and said, "I can fix that." Yeah, the Bears. If you like the Bears, I would encourage you to draft them now because the DJ Moore steam, Ben Johnson's gonna be like, oh, I can turn DJ Moore into Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's coming.
Yeah, the amount of comparing, Rome to Amon-Ra and DJ Moore to Jameson, and every iteration of just comparing a Bears wide receiver to a Lions wide receiver who smashed last year.
Roshan Johnson is David Montgomery, and DeAndre Swift is Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously.
Yeah. Ben Johnson famously loves DeAndre Swift.
How good is Alvin Kamara going higher than next year, despite all the haters being correct that he was going to trail off and be terrible in the back half of the year?
Yeah, that one I'm a little torn on because, to give him some credit, the Saints' injuries around Kamara, I don't think any running back could have put up numbers in that offense to finish the year here.
No.
You like one of these rookies?
You're about to learn about
it. All right.
Caleb
so is this
Johnson,
how you have it ranked? Is he your running back 2 or 3? What is this in the rankings here?
2. This will be unpopular. All your other fantasy industry people will have Judkins and Henderson ahead of him. I think that's how Corain has it. But Caleb Johnson is, I think it's just pretty clear that he's better than both of them. He just didn't go to Ohio State. You're the one who pointed out the insane Ohio State bias to me. I mean, it's crazy. Everyone loves them.
It is insane. Obviously, okay, JSN, Ohio State, he beat ADP last year. Terry McLaurin, okay, he beat ADP. But besides that, we've gone on a pretty big streak over the last 3 years of the Ohio State wide receivers being insanely overpriced in fantasy. Just asking questions. Why is that?
Why is that? Yeah, I mean, we have another one. We have JSN part 3. Emeka Egbuka was just the second or third best wide receiver at Ohio State for 4 years in a row, and just kept getting passed by guys. Just like a new wide receiver 1 would come out of the print machine, and he would just remain the second best guy. Maybe he'll hit. I don't know. In fact, there he is. I think I have Jennings over him though, or Warren.
I like Jennings.
I like Jennings a lot. By ADP, it's Tracy at running back. I think it's Jennings for me. We have Saquon Barkley. If this team is bad at running back, we're dead in the water anyway.
Yeah. The only thing with Jennings, and it's so hard to tell this early without knowing what's going to happen with Ayuk and Debo, but there is a world where you map it out and we get to week 10, he's their wide receiver 4. I think that's unlikely. I think he's better than Pearsall right now. I think Debo's in the decline. I think Ayuk has that obviously major injury to recover from, but I don't know. It's seeming more likely they're going to keep Debo, which is starting to scare me a little bit on guys.
There's no way, dude, right? How could they keep him?
It's just because his contract, Hayden has pointed this out, it's not quite like the Derek Carr situation, but they don't save a ton of money from cutting him, I don't believe. And then who's going to be lining up to trade for Debo? So
I kind of feel for a guy like Debo, there's always someone. There's just kind of always I don't know. It feels especially because trading now, it used to not be like this very recently, but trading is kind of in the NFL now. Teams are trading players, sometimes even player for player trades now in the NFL. Like the Amari Cooper and the DeAndre Hopkins trades and the Deontay Johnson trade, Jonathan Mingo trade, like these are things that would have not happened 5 years ago. They just would have been cut, or they would have just like not played or whatever. Here, this is me spitballing teams that could actively think, oh, Deebo Samuel helps us. First one is the Miami Dolphins. Aren't the Dolphins like the team that would most think Deebo fixes a real issue with our team? I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
The Denver Broncos are just going to be in the market for anyone at wide receiver because they are going to accelerate their timetable. Yeah,
Patriots, I think, desperate enough to be. I think you're right that like if he hit the trade market, there would be suitors, but yeah, I just have a feeling like the 49ers are going to talk themselves into. He played better those last couple games down the stretch. He was dealing with pneumonia midseason. That's why he wasn't playing well. We're still in our title window. Let's run this thing back. But we will see.
I mean,
we'll see on that one.
It's. I think the pneumonia thing is more live than people are saying because I think he was like 1.9 yards per route run, like 26% target share before. And then he was like 1.2 yards per route run, 18% target share after. And no one wants to go Windhorst. Why is that? Everyone's just like, oh, Deebo, he's cooked.
There's also a period where everyone was saying he was cooked and his box score results were terrible. But every time he like returned a kick or returned a punt, he like almost took it to the house. And that doesn't show up in your box scores or in fantasy. But I was like, I don't know, man. It still looks like Deebo has some juice to me. So yeah, they cut him post June 1 cut. They only saved $5 million against the cap. The 49ers aren't going to cut Deebo for $5 million and change. Like,
how terrible is J.K. Dobbins as an 8th round pick?
Yeah, it seems unlikely that he's going to be back like in the same role he had on the Chargers. That said, it's one of these weird things where like ideally all these good rookie running backs just go to the opening spots, but we know that
that's so the opposite of what's happening.
Yeah. So like there is a world I think where like Dobbins ends up on the Cowboys and they don't draft someone else and you're like, okay, that's a good value. But yeah, I probably would not take the plunge right now.
All right. I probably need to fix my rankings if I have quarterbacks 6 spots in a row. So that is something to fix. Do you know about Tyler Warren yet? If you watch football to know about
I don't
him?
know. I don't really know about him besides that he's supposed to be like a 1st-round pick, 5th-year player. That's about all I know.
He's the new.
Nope, he's gone.
Motherfucker. I kind of forgot doing stream drafts, bro. We don't need any of these quarterbacks yet. Skill position player. Let's take Pearsall. Let's set up a Purdy double.
All right. Sounds good.
We just spent a bunch of time talking about how Deebo's going to come back to the team and these guys are going to be the 4th and 5th wide receivers. But sure. Godwin is like not really a free agent. It's like I don't understand. You might know the logic better than I do, but it's like the Buccaneers like save money on their cap to re-sign him or something. I don't know. I need to get.
I have not gotten there yet. I thought he was. Is he like have some kind of like void year situation or something? I don't know. It shows that he's a free agent, unrestricted free agent in 2025.
All right. Unrestricted free agent. Well, there you go. I think Rashee Rice's leg is going to be fine, and I think he's going to be suspended for 4 games at the beginning of the season. That's my Rashee Rice take. I think the Bucs probably just re-sign him. They're at Liam Cohen left. They're like, fuck, we won the division last year. How do we replicate that? We're not replicating it. Watching him go, and they have one of the most friendly things a team can have. They have a quarterback who's actually overperforming his cap money.
Yeah, I do think if one of like Godwin or Higgins is going to switch teams this year, I don't know if this is a minority opinion. I think it's more likely to be Godwin than Higgins. Just because like I think the Bucs could talk themselves into. We have Jalen McMillan on a rookie deal. He flashed towards the end of the season. Godwin's older. We don't want to commit to him long term. Whereas if you're the Bengals, like, what is your rationale for not at least franchise tagging T. Higgins? Like, these other wide receivers you took haven't really panned out. I mean, Jermaine Burton's like gambling instead of showing up.
They tried. They tried
Yeah.
with Jermaine Burton. I wanted this officially on the record. It is completely a pattern matching thing with Tyler Warren. Like, oh, Bowers smashed last year, but Tyler Warren is a really good football player. Tyler Warren is going to get the ball quite a bit.
The one thing I noticed from Warren is that he's like a
44?
wildcat. Yeah, he's 44 and he's a wildcat quarterback. Like, he does some Taysom Hill stuff. Is that right?
He was a lefty high school quarterback before going to Penn State. Yeah.
Because he had like, I think 200, 300 rushing yards last year. Couple of rushing touchdowns.
Very Taysom-y as a rusher. Very Taysom-y as a rusher. Yeah.
Like a power rusher. So that's interesting because we saw that with Bowers a little bit too. They didn't really use Bowers like that as a rookie. I kept waiting for like
they
Bowers
never did it.
goal line package.
They didn't
really do it. Maybe that'll change next year.
Well, to be fair, I mean, look at who his coaches were.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Norv Turner's kid got brought in to call plays at a certain point. Like you could not have gotten more old fashioned and less creative. Yes, there are a couple non-rookies. One, Isaiah Pacheco's ADP is like Kyle Dvorak tweeted this the other day. He did the edited Wikipedia blurb. Isaiah Pacheco is a former professional running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, it's not his fault. It's unfair to him, but it's probably over for him. Kyle Pitts, sadly, is like a 15th round pick or whatever. Like, I know he should be like a 11th round pick probably. There was a veteran. Bateman is too low. Dubs is too low. AD Mitchell is like 50 picks too low for me. People are in these drafts right now to draft rookies. That is why if you are drafting a fantasy football team on January 28th, you're doing it because you want to draft a rookie.
Yeah. I mean, even like Keenan Allen and Cooper Kupp, admittedly pretty big haters of those guys really last year. Yeah, Hollywood's really late. Like Keenan Allen and Cooper Kupp at like the 110s. Unless you think there's like retirement risk for those guys, doesn't seem like. I mean, I guess they're like unlikely to be massive smashes, but I feel like they're very likely to find themselves in roles where they just get 70 catches for 800 yards next year or something like that.
Christian Kirk. Evan Ingram is actually the best pick. And I've never been an Evan Ingram. What do you think Evan Ingram's ADP is? Just guess.
Like 125.
Dude, not even close. 148.
That's insane.
The drafters have just decided he's simply dead. He just is deader than dead, which is very funny. Brian Robinson Jr. I guess shit. And this is literally my first time test driving these rankings, but he's a very good pick. Isaiah Bond also, he's not a I read a blurb yesterday from University of Texas writer that the Texas people think he's going to run faster than Worthy did. They think he
That's
might be
crazy.
Faster. Yeah.
That is wild. Is he tiny as well?
No, he's probably more like 180.
Oh, I was gonna suggest Jonnu there. I like Goddard if we don't have a tight end yet.
Goddard is like such good boring value. Yeah.
Yeah. This was something I didn't realize. I've been like, when I've had free time processing some of the data from last year, he was second to only George Kittle in yards per route run last year. Like he had an awesome season. It was just masked by some injuries, and like one of his spike weeks came when AJ Brown was out. So maybe people are discounting that, but I kind of like the idea that like if one of these wide receivers gets hurt, they just funnel everything to Goddard because, who else are they going to throw it to? Jahan Dotson and Johnny Wilson, right? Like it becomes mega concentrated when one of those top two guys goes out. So I kind of like Goddard as a boring value.
Yeah, it turns out the Quez Watkins role, not a valuable, a valuable role. The people, The Jahan Johnson drafters, they ran good to get any points at all. I don't even know how many points he scored, but they ran good to get them. This is a good spot to take Scattaboo, actually. Our speaking of Taysom Hill.
Yeah, was Scattaboo on for the first draft stream before I came on, or is he on? For the
he
next
was,
one?
yeah, no, he was here.
Okay.
And the thing is, man, here's the issue with him having a huge game in the college football playoff. He's way too famous, dude. He wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's true. He's
like
probably his name's a little bit too cool too. Like I don't know. We need someone with
Dylan
a
Laube is
name.
a pretty cool name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but he went to UNH, so that's
true.
That explains it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
is the first time I've taken him.
Yeah, admittedly, I'm very open about this. Not a huge college football fan. Don't watch a lot of games. I did watch the Scattaboo blow up game. Was it against Texas? Yeah. He was unreal. He like threw for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown. He ran for one or two. He was incredible. But he doesn't strike me as someone who's gonna like test super well.
No, he'll run like a 4.58 or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is there are so many shitty backfields. Like, think about it. Think about all the backfields that need a guy. So the Patriots need at least one guy. The Titans probably would prefer a compliment there. The Bengals need a guy. The Steelers need a guy. The Chiefs might need two guys. The Chargers need at least one guy, maybe two. The Broncos need like four guys. The Raiders need a guy. The Commanders,
Vikings, right?
Vikings. I think the Vikings might legitimately take three guys. I think the Vikings might just be like Cam Akers, Ty Chandler, Aaron Jones isn't even going to be on the team. He's a
free agent. Yeah.
The Commanders definitely need at least one guy. The Cowboys need at least one guy, probably two. Giants, maybe they have Tracy. Buccaneers, Falcons, Saints probably don't. Yeah. Rams, maybe. I think the Rams. Raiders, Bears, Packers. Like, I think half the teams in the league need a guy, basically.
Mm-hmm. There's some good landing spots in there. And yeah, the free agent running backs is going to be like, I think Aaron Jones is like starter, at least like 1B quality. Rico Dowdle is like committee quality. Najee Harris, committee quality.
Rico Dowdle is a free agent, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the free agent class has like a couple like dudes that are okay committee backs, like maybe your starter in a pinch, but this free agent running back class isn't going to be like filling a ton of these holes. Oh yeah, I got
sad news for you, man. Erick All expected to miss the entirety of the 2025 season, man. I really apologize to you.
I mean, what is this guy, Paul Denher? No, he's not like the main lead writer for the Bengals or anything, is he?
Paul Denher, he was one of the first ones who got woke to Chase Brown, who was like, Chase Brown's the starter, bro.
Yeah.
Rico is a free agent. Najee is sadly one of the best veteran values on the board. I never thought those words would be uttered by me. The running back 40.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just going to walk in to a starting job because crucially, we all know that Najee stinks. But whatever team signs him is going to know exactly who Najee Harris is and be like, that's what we want. We're into that.
I had a vision of just Najee Harris in the Kareem Hunt role for the Chiefs, and it just that makes a lot of sense to me, don't you think? Like, they just want someone who's reliable, can pick up like 4 yards when you need 3. I don't know if they would pay a lot to get him, but that just makes like a lot of stylistic sense to me.
I mean, man, do I hope that doesn't come true, but you just put that in the atmosphere, and now I can't unsee it, dude.
He runs a lot like 30-year-old Kareem Hunt at this point in his career.
He runs almost identically to 30-year-old Kareem Hunt, just like 3 yards. 3 yards is really good.
He doesn't fumble. He's reliable. Like, I don't know. They've kind of prioritized like the reliable, boring running back over the flashy one in recent years.
Sus, it's the other way around, dude. Tank Bigsby is the Rashad White. I regret to inform you. Yeah, Najee was already high in my ranks. I already had Najee ranked ahead of ADP.
Tank Bigsby might be the Sean Tucker I think
I think it might be. Okay. We need
a tight end. Could we go with this Loveland guy? Isn't he supposed to get drafted pretty high?
No, I actually like him a good bit. I was trying to think if there's not really a good quarterback set up for us.
Oh yeah.
And we don't. These running backs are all super flat. Because our stacks are all gone unless we take Rodgers last round if we think he's coming back. So we'll do Loveland there. Actually, this is a really good team for a quarterback who must not be named. I took Russell Wilson on a show right before you got on.
Yeah, that's a weird situation where the beat reporter was like, the team wants to sign one of Justin
them.
Fields or Russell Wilson, but not both. But also, we're not going to say which one. Just like
it's clearly Fields, right? It's clearly Fields.
If I was to guess, I think it's probably Fields. I think Russ gave them a boost like in that midpoint of the season, but clearly faded by the end. And I think they're willing to roll the dice on like the higher upside younger option. That'd be my guess, but I don't really know.
I think you can do Fields and draft a quarterback and be like, shut up, dude. Like, we saved you from going to literal zero, you know?
Yeah. I think it makes more sense and also, like, if you're Justin Fields, why would you want to leave? Like, no matter where you go, you're going to be competing for a job. So why not like compete for a job in the place where you just had like the most success of your career? It makes too much sense for Fields to stay, I think. But I don't know. Maybe there's some team like the Giants that's willing to pay Fields. I don't know though. We already saw last year's market is pretty weak.
All right, I do have Travis Hunter ranked here. If we want to have some fun, the other thing would be taking Penix and hoping he gets a rookie wide receiver, or taking Kyle Pitts.
I kind of like the Penix move here, I think.
No, I think the Penix thing is more cromulent.
And also, like, you don't want to get boxed out of we don't want to get boxed out of like Brock Purdy plus two guys that might not start next year. That just seems like an unnecessary risk to take. So I like Penix. Pitts will be available, right? I mean, no one's taking him early.
You know, it's just hard to. It's a pretty. There are slappies. There are slappies about. You know, the ultimate slappy tight end room this year will be 1-2 turn. It's 1-2 turn Brock Bowers, Tyler Warren in round 9, Harold Fannin Jr. In round 14. That's how you go full slap. Well, or Warren, boring. No, it's Warren, Pitts, Fannin. You do Warren, Fitz, Fannin. You're wearing the slappy belt.
Yeah. Have the slappies given up on? I feel like my early read on the slappies is that they're willing to throw Dalton Kincaid in the trash. They're giving up on him.
Oh, he's done. It's over.
I think the slappies are not ready to give up on Kyle Pitts quite yet. Depending on where he goes, I think people are going to talk themselves back into Pitts.
Define back in.
Like I think it's going to be a popular slappy opinion to be overweight on Pitts at pick like 150 plus.
I mean, if by popular you mean that is what my plan for the next 8 months is, then absolutely. I mean, exactly. Jake's still not giving up on Greg Dulcich. I still have Greg Dulcich on a dynasty team right now. So
yeah, didn't he get cut by the Broncos? Or no, he gets signed by the Giants.
Technically, he was active for the Giants in week 17. So I like one of my finals team technically had all 18 guys live, including Greg Dulcich.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if people are still hanging on to like, you know, Kenny Yeboah on their dynasty teams, you can hang on to
Noah Fant was a popular round 16 pick last year. Noah Fant is just Iowa Kyle Pitts.
He really is Iowa Kyle Pitts. And I still will draft Iowa Kyle Pitts until he's no longer in the league.
Dude, Clint Kubiak.
Yeah.
They fixed the offense, man.
Clint Kubiak. I'm going to be a Clint Kubiak truther, I think, this year. I think like Ryan Grubb got a bit of an unfair shake. Like I don't think he deserved to be fired after Seattle, I think, was top 10, top 12 in scoring last year. But that said, I think maybe they just saw an opportunity to upgrade with Kubiak. I think the Kubiak stuff was legit early in the season. The Saints literally just lost everyone, like wide receivers, offensive line, Derek Carr, like they got decimated. So I'm willing to give Kubiak another run.
First 4 seasons, Kyle Pitts versus Noah Fant. 64 games, 61 games. More receptions for Fant, more yards for Pitts, more touchdowns for Fant, but only 4. 1 Pro Bowl for. I mean, same dude. This is Spider-Man. They
both have averaged -4 yards per carry.
Kyle Pitts, more fantasy points in fewer games than Noah Fant's first 4 years.
Wait, Kyle Pitts was a Pro Bowler his rookie year?
Sure.
Okay. I didn't realize
Kyle
we were just handing those out for free.
Kyle Pitts has been injured this whole time. Kyle Pitts has basically been injured. Yes, I was very fan-pilled last year, which is the point that I'm making, which is that once a slap, always a slap. There's just not anything you can do.
Dude, no offense. He just looks too cool when he has a visor on the field and he makes one big play. It's just, I'm not going to be able to give that up.
Well, just imagine if they would play him all those snaps like we thought was going to happen last year, and then it just didn't happen at all because you had to get AJ Barner on the field.
You had to get him on the field. Well, maybe if Lockett gets cut, they'll run more 2 tight end sets, and he can be in the Isaiah Likely role in the offense. That could be exciting.
I don't think they would cut Tyler Lockett. I think he's got to retire.
I was looking at this. Let me pull it up again. He has an insane cap hit coming next year that I think they're not going to take. So he had an insane cap hit last year, and they just restructured. They restructured. So they can cut him, and it's 14 million dead money, 17 million cap savings. I think they cut him for the 17 million cap savings. I mean, that's a lot.
Cutting a franchise legend.
It is. It's a tough look, but I mean, people make the joke about Zach Ertz not getting yak. The Lockett thing is getting ridiculous with the amount he doesn't even try to get yak. And he literally like jumps backwards to avoid getting contact at this point in his career.
All right. We need a running back. Open to any and all running back takes.
I like Jalen Wright. And not like, I don't know the rookies, to be honest. In terms of veterans, I think Mostert's probably gone. I think Wright's an interesting like handcuff to A-Chain. I'd probably go Wright or Guerrero over the veterans. If you have a strong take on the rookies, I'm open to it.
I don't. I think they're all really similar. The thing is like Jalen Wright could be a round 10 pick after Mostert retires and the Dolphins don't take a running back, or the Dolphins could take 2 running backs and Jalen Wright could be like literally an all-time. Remember that guy? Like, dude, remember that Dolphins running back who we took in the 12th round? What was his name?
Yeah, wait, he was the running back 3 and we took him in the 10th round.
A-Chain got hurt and then what? And then I'm taking Justin Fields.
Before we can even have the conversation, that's smart. It's a smart
we
move.
needed another quarterback. I'm telling, if Russ gets cut or traded or what, I don't know the cap machinations, but if that happens, like at the combine or whatever, he's like Justin Fields is what, in a 9th round pick immediately, like literally like overnight.
Yeah, if you're saying that, so they cut Russ and they don't draft any like, you know, round 1, round 2, round 3 quarterback. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The field stuff will be interesting. Like, I think they clearly, like, I would have liked to see them actually open up the offense with him last year. It was so conservative when they had him under center. Like, not saying that the Russ Wilson attack was like some high flying pass first offense, but they ran a lot of play action, let Russ take a lot of deep shots. The field stuff was like so hand holding him. I hope like in a full off seasons of having him there, they try to open things up a little bit, because it was tough to like really evaluate him in that offense last year. My opinion.
Yeah, he did not run very much last year, but when he did run, he was still good at it.
Sure. Yeah.
Like That's valuable.
I thought he was like very like at what they asked him to do. I thought he was good at it. It was just like they had handcuffs on him last year.
I do wonder if you were wanting to be kind, you would say, well, they designed this whole offense around thinking Russell Wilson was going to be the starter. If Russ is gone and they just know their quarterback room is Duck Hodges and Justin Fields,
Yeah.
They should have started Fields in the playoffs instead of just getting demolished.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I'm not even going to do the Russell Wilson defense because there's no point, but their defense, like if people are being honest, their defense was the issue in the playoff game. I thought Russ played totally fine. He's obviously not.
He's just like
top,
fine.
Yeah, he's just fine. He's completely fine. He'll probably get a chance to start somewhere if it's not on the Steelers next year, but we'll see.
Ollie Gordon, I like a lot. He was like the best running back in college football 2 years ago, and then was like somehow the worst running back in the Big 12 last year. I don't really know what happened, but he is at the Senior Bowl right now, and he weighed in at 233.
Whoa!
So this is like a Samaj Pirine size guy, but is like an insane good rusher. It's kind of interesting. Yeah,
I like that. I like the guys with size. Javonte now.
What do you think about pick 186? Javonte.
Oh man, I even feel bad because like he was a good player, but people got to give up the ghost, dude.
Well,
the knee injury was devastating. Like it's. I mean,
it just it happens, man, and it's so funny that the estimate people were so right and didn't get paid off because Sean Payton's such a dick. I do hate that.
The healthy scratching estimate in the playoffs for Tyler Bidet was a good bit.
You do that. It's one thing I do really appreciate about Payton is he's so committed to the bit. I like all these running backs right here. Do you have where'd you go to college? You have a running back you like?
I went to Princeton, so maybe Yoshivas. We could throw him in the queue, but no. I'd go. Yeah, you pick it. If it's a rookie that you like, you pick it, Davis. I don't know the rookies, I'll be honest.
I like Giddens. I'm thinking if there's a tight end we need to take here. There's not really. It's not really a wide receiver I want to take either.
We could take I mean, this is probably 20th round, but we do have Penix, so like I don't think Ray McLeod's a terrible like 20th round veteran.
Rondale Moore, dude. Rondale Moore, man. He's back. They're saying
what field did he get injured on when he got hurt? Was it with the starters?
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, by the end, what was his Daryl Hodge was playing over Ray McLeod in the end. Giddens is not gonna DJ Giddens is not gonna run a 4.75 flat. I need you guys to get serious. I hate this, man. DJ Giddens is a great college running back.
4.75. That's like worse than Kyron or any of those dudes. I got one ball knowing film take, Davis. If he doesn't get sniped here, I think Jordan Whittington is a good player.
I don't, but it's fine.
I don't think he's like some amazing player outside the context of the Rams offense. But in the games where Puka was out last year, and specifically when both Kupp and Puka were out, they had Whittington do a ton of like the dirty work underneath intermediate short area, like Puka and Kupp stuff. He finished the year with 2.5 yards per route run, 23% targets per route run on like not a negligible amount of snaps. I think he had like 150 routes. So clearly small sample, but I think that Kupp's going to be gone next year and Whittington's going to step up into a role. So that could completely blow up. Like I thought this last year about Davis Allen on the Rams. That did not work out. I just think he's like a guy that McVay is going to like a lot.
Well, it's a bad free agent wide receiver class and a bad rookie wide receiver class. So that will shield him. to some
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah. And I just like guys like the super small sample yards per route run guys. Like I usually, you want to be skeptical of that.
I'm an idiot. I meant to take Kyle Pitts instead of Fields, and then I just snapped Fields off. Whoops.
Yeah, whoops. But yeah, like I like guys that have had, like he had a game of 10 targets, 89 yards in week 5. Like I like guys that have had like some semblance of spike games, not just, I don't know, 1 or 2 catches here or there throughout the season. That's my Jordan Whittington rant. I'll stop talking about him.
I did probably crap on you. I don't know. I mean, it's just you can't hold me accountable. It's January, dude. I'm allowed to change my mind. All right. I'm just putting it on the record. Things I say in January and February about guys I'm going to be drafting in 6 months. I am officially allowed to change my mind. If I decide I don't want to take a player anymore, or if I want to take a player, Kadarius Toney is probably available.
Spike games. Yeah, that is true.
I was running a wide receiver filter earlier, and Kadarius Toney came up as one of the comps, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Not great.
But then you remember Kadarius Toney's rookie year. Not that bad.
Before he got ejected from his breakout game, he was having a great game.
Dude. The Kadarius like Toney tape from his rookie year, it's like it's so hard not to watch that and just like dream about what he could have been if he had his head on straight, because the moves that Toney does in the NFL field are like one of one type, like agility and movement. Clearly never really figured out the mental side of the game. And I think injuries too, like the way he bends his knee to like make cuts, maybe that's not set up for long-term success, but his highlight reel is insane.
I'm just trying to think of like another guy who's been like him. Who is the Steelers guy? Who is Martavis Bryant?
Martavis Bryant.
Who was just like, who was just sick good, but just like could not be serious.
Yeah. I mean, Hollywood a little bit.
Hollywood's definitely getting re-signed by the Chiefs. You think Hollywood Brown at this stage of his career, he's finally winning? I mean, literally, he's in the Super Bowl. You think he's going to be like, all right, peace out? No, come on. He's coming back.
Should we take
actually,
yeah.
Or would it go the other way? I'm all ears.
What about Higbee? Higbee here.
Yeah.
He kind of emerged as a clear starter for them down the stretch. He looked solid, so whatever.
I need to try and be a little bit more conservative on him because he is going to be a bailout pick for me a lot here, and I don't want like 30% of him.
Yeah, there's no need for that, but yeah.
I actually just talked myself out of it. Hollywood's actually, because it's just such a terrible free agent class, Hollywood's going to get like $20 million.
Yeah, his market's going to be really interesting. Here, maybe we make a pick here first.
You got any dust old running backs you like?
Khalil Herbert. Run that back. Justice Hill doesn't seem like a terrible pick.
I took Justice Hill last time. I took Justice Hill last time. I took Saquon. I ate my vegetables and took Saquon Barkley. I'm going to have a 4 rookie running back room. It's such a funny. So this is a strategy thing. I wonder your input on this. 5 of these rookie running backs are going to have like insane landing spots. Like there's going to be a landing spot that makes them go up. Like one of these guys is going to go up 100 picks in ADP. And some of them are going to go up, like one of Hampton or Travion or Judkins is going to go up 30 spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is the correct strategy thing to just do like 4 rookie running backs every time and just say, well, some of these guys are dead. Like maybe Damian Martinez is a UDFA and is just dead. Or is like Isaiah Davis, like a 3rd running back on a decent team or whatever. Or do you try and mix and match it? And be like, okay, this time I took 2 running backs. This one I took 2 different ones. And you just have like 9% of all the rookie running backs on different teams.
My lean would probably be more the latter, just because like say that happens where 2 of them smash and 4 of them bust. Like I still think it's kind of hard to win a tournament with like a ton of dead roster spots at running back. So I think how I'd want to do it is like even it out a little bit. So when you do have the hits, they're surrounded by more stable, like, I don't know, Najee Harris, whatever, insert veteran running back name here, guys that like kind of get you there, and then have those guys, spike towards the end. So I'd probably lean that way. It's also because I think like personally, whenever I play the big board, I feel like I've gone too hard on rookies in the past. And when I look back at my teams, I'm just like, oh, dude, like
what you look back
Seth
at this
Williams and like, who are the hell are these guys? Like
Seth, I remember Seth Williams. Yeah, he was supposed to be Auburn, got drafted by the Broncos, right?
Yeah, I had so much of that guy. I'm just like, what was I do? Like, I don't know enough ball to take 80% Seth Williams. What was the point of that? Tony,
I've never seen this before. Someone just asked for this. I've never seen this before. This is what he was doing. When was this posted? This was posted 2 years ago. So he was doing this instead of running routes with Patrick Mahomes. That's what he was doing. We can't listen to it because I think there's a chance it would demonetize my video, which is the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, we don't have the budget to get sued by Kadarius Toney over here.
No, I did a fucking 3.5 hour stream with Corum on all the rookies like 3 weeks ago, and it got demonetized, and I was like, well, sick.
Yeah.
Don't love that.
It's funny. I was listening to that one on audio only, so I didn't even get the benefits of the demonetization. It's a shame.
What can you do? All right, we have a 3-6-7-3. It's probably another wide receiver here. Who's your best round 20 wide receiver? I know you're gonna say Nick Westbrook-Ikhine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, Ian Hardis posted like a highlight reel of Nick Westbrook-Ikhine.
I did see that.
Auto retweeted it. It was so funny. Dude, this is so boring, but I'd probably go with the stack and go with like McLeod. If you want to do something more fun, I actually do like Turpin a little bit.
I think Turpin is getting snaps. Like that's a real pick.
Yeah,
I think.
They did kind of need him on the field towards the end last year. Oh man, there's so many guys, dude. Roman Wilson. With the Justin Fields.
Well, just like, what's the difference between Roman Wilson and Ray McLeod? He was a 3rd round pick last year.
Yeah, fair enough. I took him last year, so why not double down? But yeah,
I would encourage you, Mr. Muggin, to go look at some of the other quarterback rooms that have won best ball tournaments. You would flagellate yourself if you saw. Remember, Crane's was Brady, Daniel Jones, and
might have just been those two, maybe even.
No, it was a 3 quarterback team, but the other guy stunk. Okay. Like the sort of quarterback rooms you can. They do not matter.
Yeah. Especially like Brock Purdy, he's got a weekly ceiling. Tua, yeah. And these guys have weekly ceilings. Justin Fields and Brock Purdy, like these are guys that people play in DFS tournaments and stuff. So
Trevor Lawrence is going to be awesome for fantasy this year. I mean, maybe. What are you have big thoughts on that hire?
I like Liam Cohen a lot. I thought what he did with the Bucs last year was awesome. So I'm pretty fired up for all the Jags. I think, everyone's obviously in on Thomas, but
who's going to be the big slappy team? Are the Bears going to be the slappy team, or is it going to be the Jags? Like who's going to be overdrafted the most?
That's a good question. I'd say last year it had to be the Texans. Were probably the slappy team last year. Nico worked. Everything else not so much. I'd probably go Bears. I think the Ben Johnson like instantly inflates Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, whatever running back they draft. I think the Ben Johnson thing is gonna inflate all these guys' ADPs. And yeah, man, it comes down to, do you believe in Caleb Williams or not? Right? Like that's the hinge point. That'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there'll be enough people like me that are just like, oh, Caleb Williams, it wasn't his fault, man.
Yeah.
Not his fault. Not his fault. He took 900 sacks, dude.
Yeah. I think it was partially not his fault. And then towards the end of the year, he just learned like so many bad habits from the Waldron stuff that it was just like it was over. But dude, the college Caleb Williams was so good. It's hard for me to believe that like it does honestly, like we're saying the Jags versus the Bears. It reminds me of rookie year Trevor Lawrence a little bit. We obviously saw a huge turnaround in year 2. That situation.
Yeah, I agree. All right, give me 47 seconds on Ben Johnson while I go pee.
All right. Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Very handsome guy. I think this move to the Bears, he had a lot of different options to choose from. Basically, any other team in the NFL would have paid him a huge bag. I don't know what he's getting paid, 10 million, 20 million, whatever it is. Probably the highest paid coach in the NFL, if I were to guess right now. I think he's done an incredible job in Detroit of just scheming up players to their strengths. Like he doesn't have a very defined system that he just like cut, copy, paste. That's why I think people are kind of going wrong trying to, put DJ Moore into the Monroe role, Roma Donze into the Monroe role, whatever it might be. I think he's just going to play to his player's strength. So I'm excited. Like if you believe in the talent on this Bears roster, which I do, a lot of high pedigree players. I'm pretty in on the Bears this year.
High pedigree players everywhere. They just have to. They got to fix the offensive line a little bit, and they need to put some Joe Burrow tape on for Caleb. And they say, just don't do any of that. Any of the sack evasion stuff that guy's doing, don't do that. Do what. I don't know. I mean, he really should just be like trying to be Pat Mahomes. He should be trying to be, we have Patrick Mahomes at home.
Yeah. The Mahomes sack evasion stuff is so crazy because he's not some elite athlete in like terms of straight line speed or even like, I don't know. If you had Mahomes run like a 3-cone or something, I don't think it'd have some amazing agility, but he's just so good at like taking the right angle to avoid sacks. I don't know how like translatable that is, but it's really an insane. Like I think it's like the underrated part of Mahomes of the Chiefs dynasty. Honestly, is how like getting Mahomes down. He never gets sacked. Down. Dude, it's insane.
Honestly, this is a great point. If Bryce can be fixed, Caleb can be fixed.
Yeah, there were still flashes last year. Enough flashes that I'm willing to bet. I mean, what is Caleb's ADP right now? Like around 100 or something, like same as last year?
I bet it's
probably
it might even be lower. Yeah, it's actually it's right about what it was last year, 115. God damn, dude. No one wants me to have Ashton Jeanty. In these drafts, he goes ahead in my drafts on stream. He goes ahead every time. Can I have good things, man? I want to do a running back start. Might be fun. All right, we took T last time.
Yeah.
It's T or McBride or Bucky. I've got no Bucky teams yet.
I'm good with, if we want to do the tight end thing to mix it up, I'm good with McBride.
Yeah. And Kyler is pretty cheap. Yeah, 4.2% career sack rate for Mahomes. And that was with him playing pretty poorly this year, Like he took 5 sacks in a game this year. I think he had one of his games. It was the most sacks he's ever taken in a game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was banged up at points, but yeah. The McBride.
Yes, this is a great point. They just never did slant boy Keenan Allen. At no point.
No.
Did they just do quick Keenan. Like what?
They had Keenan Allen running option routes, like. And he did have some highlights on those. I'm not saying they were like never successful. Like the Thursday night, he actually had a sick like option route on, I think it was a Thanksgiving Day game against the Lions, even maybe. But like they had Keenan Allen running long developing routes behind a terrible offensive line. Like what is the strategy here, guys? Like, come on.
And then you would see every time they would like get down in a game, they would like figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they'd come storming. I mean, they almost beat the Lions on Thanksgiving, you know?
Yep.
Neil
Yeah.
Neil really learning lessons from last year about being a slappy, starting his draft, Brock Bowers, Devin A-Chain. I mean, some people are born to slap. I think the ultimate slappy start this year, though, is Brian Thomas Jr., Genty over Henry or McCaffrey. You do that,
That is,
you've earned your slappy beads.
Neighbors, Genty, you're allowed to post that screenshot. That's one for the slappies. I don't really want to do Garrett Wilson again. Okay, good. Just to mix it up.
It's Jacobs tough. By my rankings, or Jacobs
I like
by ADP, Brees by my rankings.
I'd probably go Jacobs.
There's just
Brees.
No way Jacobs is a better pick than Brees Hall. There you go. First overruling of the guest of 2025. There's just no fucking way. There's no way.
It's just I don't know. I think like the team situation for the Jets and Packers is just in such a different stratosphere that I understand Brees is a better talent. But man, I don't know. Like what seriously, like what if the Jets get rid of Rodgers? Like seriously, what is their plan at quarterback next year? Like Tyrod Taylor, Mac Jones, Jackson Dart. Like
they'll figure it out.
Yeah. But
I think if you played well last year.
Yeah, I think their best option, honestly, is just to bring Rodgers back. But I don't know if
Aaron Glenn will establish the run.
Yeah. I mean, what you really need with Brees is like why he was so good as a fantasy asset in his second year was the pass catching. So I guess if Devontae Adams is gone, you can talk me into that a little bit again, which he probably is gone. I think most likely scenario is Adams and Rodgers are gone.
I mean, let's just set the record straight here about Jacobs. He's a fucking touchdowns merchant. 3 100-yard games the whole season. Did not really get used as a pass catcher, you know. What do you have? 43 targets, so a career low, other than his rookie year where he got injured.
Yeah, I mean, if Jacobs was a first round pick, I would not be like banging the table for him. But I think his role is just like, in terms of like the dead zone things, I think what people worry about is like guys whose role can get replaced in the offense. I think Matt LaFleur loves what Josh Jacobs, in a similar way to like how Sean McVay loves what Kyron gives him. I think LaFleur.
So I don't disagree there, but LaFleur has been so committed to using 2 running backs to the point that he once played Dion Lewis over Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but I mean, they're like. The Ravens play Justice Hill over Derrick Henry in passing down situations. Like, I realize it's not a 1-to-1 comparison, but like there is a reason Derrick Henry does need to be taken off the field. It's because he can't really pass protect or catch passes. Like, I just think I think that comparison to me is just like a little bit specific to the unique player that Derrick Henry is. But
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
He's certainly not like exciting, but I just feel like his role is so locked in. Like the Packers are going to be so run heavy near the goal line. But I don't hate Brees. I don't hate Brees in the third.
What if Marshawn Lloyd doesn't get appendicitis this year?
Marshawn Lloyd, he's up there with Roman Wilson in terms of theoretical ass players. I've never seen this guy.
God damn it. I did want to take Devonta.
Okay. Should probably take a wide receiver, right?
Probably 2. Probably JMO. Yeah.
I'm good with JMO again. Yeah. Or we could do Zay.
We don't have any stack. Well, actually, no, we do. We have let's do Zay. We can take Kyler with McBride.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think But if I told you that the Jets just had a normal season, they win 9. Let's say they win 9 games. Normal season. Rodgers is not doing ayahuasca. They don't trade. No trades midseason. No one gets. What if I just told you this? No Jets coaching staff member gets fired. You get no other information other than that. No Jets personnel gets fired. Where are you taking Breece Hall?
Probably take him in the second round.
I was gonna say you're taking him way. If you know no one gets fired, you're like, oh shit, let's go.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, asking Rodgers not to do ayahuasca is like
that's
like asking Jermaine Burton to not
that's outrageous.
Gamble before the game. I mean, it's just not gonna happen.
All right, this is probably Pickens. Well, nope. All right, we are looking at. Oh God. Oh, thank God, dude. We're gonna take a Patriot. Ready?
All right, let's do it.
We're gonna take Tet. How do you like that Tet's upside comp is Drake London? What are your feelings on that being his upside comp?
It doesn't feel great. The Patriots are not a Drake London away from a good wide receiver room. So that's a little disappointing. That said, I think you can make the argument that like Drake London in like the Puka Nacua role in Los Angeles, like could put up insane stats, right? Like Drake London may have never had the right quarterback to unlock his skill set. So we'll see. Big bodied, like rangy guy. Like it's a little worrisome that he doesn't seem to be like an elite separator similar to London, but I don't know if he can use his body to create space.
He does have good yak.
Yeah.
He does have really good yak. This guy loves Demario Douglas. This guy was telling me Demario Douglas should be a top 120 pick. And I was just like, guys, we got to settle down. We got to settle down.
He's the most just like pop gun slot wide receiver of all time. I mean, yeah. Like, I just don't get what you're shooting for with Demario Douglas.
He's a really good pick in full PPR last round bye week filler. You can get 14 points from him.
Yeah. It also just feels like the era. Like I get nervous about these tiny slot only players. Like kind of the era of like the Cole Beasley tiny slot receivers is like a lot of offenses are completely moving off that archetype. Like the slot wide receivers are now like bigger dudes that get in there to do more dirty work in the intermediate. So I just get nervous. Like a guy like Demario, a coaching staff could come in here and be like, I have no role for the 5'8" slot wide receiver in my offense. Like that's not part of my offense. That said, Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator. So he probably
we're so back.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I just talked myself all the way back into that.
Yeah. It's like Julian Edelman. Ever heard of him?
Yeah,
Danny Amendola.
Dude, Josh McDaniels still getting the OC job is
man. This team fucking wild. Stinks, dude. Bijan Robinson, Trey McBride, Breece Hall, Zay Flowers, Ted McMillan. This is a fucking 8th place ass Big 14. Zay Flowers is your wide receiver 1. You are bringing a full PPR gun to a half PPR.
Yeah.
Or a full PPR knife to a half PPR gunfight.
Well, we'll say this with like Adam Thielen, don't worry.
Yeah, Egbuka is like the most boring guy alive. He's only the all-time leading OSU wide receiver because every other OSU wide receiver is good enough to leave after 3 years. Having to stay for the 4th year, huge red flag. For it. Like literally actually could not be more of a massive red flag because Ohio State guys always get overdrafted too.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a great sign. I'm kind of like all right with the Judy thing this year. I don't know where you stand on him.
This is like pretty. I mean, as much as you can get ADP value in January, it's a lot of ADP value.
Definitely want to be trusting the ADP of guys who haven't.
You definitely. Let me tell you one
for years. Tons of well-adjusted folks building these ADPs.
Well, I mean, Igbuka did win a championship and cost himself a lot of money. So,
Judy, I'm not the first one to predict this, but I think Kirk Cousins is a Brown, and Jerry Judy, I think if
he
they
ran
like
the
stabilize,
most routes in the
yeah,
National Football League last year. Most routes.
he was a routes merchant for sure. But hey, 1,200 yards is 1,200 yards at a certain point.
Hey, it definitely counts. We got to take another wide receiver. I predict the Slappies have it as the Josh Downs line this year. Where, there's always like in between wide receiver 40 and wide receiver 50. There's the Slappies go, that's the last wide receiver you can take, otherwise you're dead. I predict Josh Downs will be pretty close to that line.
That's a good call. I could see it being like Darnell. Yeah, no, Darnell Mooney, that's going to be above the line.
No, Darnell Mooney's a terrible pick.
Go back with the Jennings call. I'm good with that. We could also do
Jennings or the aforementioned Igbuka.
I mean, if you're not high on him, I don't think we need to take him. But
no, let's take him. Let's diversify a little bit. Can't have too many guys. Well, there's no rhythm to this year's board because there's been about 900 total drafts done. So there's a lot more information to be fed in here.
Yeah, there's so many quarterback situations in flux right now that it's like
it's hard to stack a lot of those spots.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you've looked at, or I'm sure you've heard other people make this point, Davis, but if you map out, even if you say, okay, there's 2 rookie quarterbacks that are starters from day one, you give Justin Fields a starting job, you give Sam Darnold a starting job, you do all that for the obvious veterans. There's still 2 or 3 teams that are what the hell are they doing at quarterback this year? There
all right,
are some big guys.
Let's do this right now. Jets starting quarterback. Call your shot.
I'm gonna go Tyrod Taylor plus a day 3 rookie.
All right, Colts. Do they bring in a veteran competitor for Anthony Richardson?
I think they do. I think it's going to be a Jacoby Brissett tier guy competing with him.
Titans starting quarterback is Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. Whom?
I'd go. Oh, man, but it seems like they might take a tackle. I'd go. I guess I'd for doing this game, I'd say Cam Ward.
Okay, I think that is also the answer. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I think we both think it's most likely to be Fields.
Yeah, I think Fields plus some other rookie or veteran option. Yeah.
All right, Browns.
Kirk.
Yeah. Raiders. Raiders is a tough one.
That's a tough one. I'd go.
They can't really get anyone with their pick unless they overdrafted Dart, I think.
Yeah. Or Raiders. Yeah, that's what I think. I think the Raiders are the team that's going to have Mac Jones or somebody of that tier starting for them. Because I think Darnold does go back to the Vikings. I don't know where you're at on that one, but this would be a Darnold landing spot if you do believe that.
No, Darnold is not going back to the Vikings, bro.
I think they're going to franchise tag him.
Nah, you don't. I just think that would be such shitting in the face of common sense. I just think that would be looking at common sense in the face and saying, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I guess my thing is the franchise tag, it just gives them an option if JJ McCarthy doesn't come back from this knee injury, and they at least have some option going forward. And it's just it's a 1 year, no long-term commitment. What is your logic for why they move on from
that? He's going to get the Baker Mayfield contract from somebody. And
but they own his rights, right?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the unilateral franchise tag doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah. I could see that going either way for sure. That's just my guess right now. Ooh, I kind of like Shaheed. He's probably gonna get taken.
See, I think Shaheed is like an awesome 14th round pick and just like an ass 8th round pick.
Yeah, I thought Shaheed was like, again, this is another team that's quarterback like coaching purgatory, but 2.0 yards per route run, 23% targets per route run last year. I thought he actually got involved like a lot in like the schemed touches, like screens, rush attempts.
Shaheed or Diggs? Shaheed or Diggs?
I'd go Shaheed. It's up to me. Yeah, I think
I won't have very much of him, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's huge ADP. We're just scooping ADP value in January, Davis. You got to do it.
KOC talked about Darnold in past tense in the end of his end of season press conference.
Yeah, I did see that. It was very he clearly was not going to come out and commit to him. That very much was the case. So I'm not saying it's locked in. They bring him back.
I just think they're also a like they're an analytics organization, and they're going to look at their team and be like, this is a Super Bowl roster. KOC is this awesome coach. He got this great performance out of this guy that we think sucks. What if they you know what? The Vikings are a really good Gardner Minshew team. The Vikings are the really good pay Gardner Minshew is $10 million to be a competent backup team and let it fly with McCarthy, because they need to spend some money on linemen. You know, both their tackles got injured.
Yeah, the other one I've heard is just keep Daniel Jones around as the backup option to McCarthy. That makes some sense too.
I think that is like locked into happening. Okay, we can take a wide receiver or a running back, or we can take Kyler now. He probably won't come around.
Let's take Kyler. I don't really care about the ADP too much.
I don't really either, and he probably won't get back around to us. So Kyler, Bijan Breece, great start last year. You loved that last year. Flowers, Tet, Judy, Igbuka, Shaheed. I mean, that is one of the worst wide receiver rooms you were ever going to see. I mean, that is really bad. How many 21-point half PPR games in that room? None. None. Zero. The answer is 0.
You need Jerry Jeudy. Then you need them to change the schedule so Jerry Jeudy plays against the Broncos 3 times next year. Get a couple revenge games, and then I think we're cooking.
Yeah. This is old. You can call this 60 IQ, but I think it's as simple as their season was on the line twice to get the 1 seed and then in a playoff game. And Sam Darnold basically could not have played worse. Like essentially, I don't think there's what could he have done to have been worse in those 2 games? I really don't think he could have done anything.
It was really bad. It was like, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the worst thing he could have done for them making this decision is win that first playoff game. Yeah. I remember when they played the Rams. So beat the Rams, then get blown out in the next game. But then you go, well, you know, he won the playoff game and this game was a tough matchup. I think, like, if you're thinking about decision making, you're never obviously going to be perfect at it. But he basically gave you all the information you needed, which is he can execute KOC's system, but he can't do anything when the system breaks down, when something disrupts the system. And McCarthy might be better. Yeah. McCarthy might just be better.
I certainly think if you bring Darnold back, it's definitely not like Darnold's a locked in starter. McCarthy's the backup. Like, I think it's a full blown competition, even like leaning towards if it's a toss up, you give the job to McCarthy. I just think that 14, what do they have? 14 regular season wins. Like, that is a lot of wins. As bad as Darnold was down the stretch, the Vikings offense was awesome for the vast majority of the season. Like, their deep ball passing was the best in the NFL. I don't think that's like entirely KOC system. I do think Darnold was playing.
Darnold makes all the throws. He's always made all the throws.
He started seeing some ghosts and it completely fell apart. Like, that's a huge red flag for a guy. If you had to say you have to commit 3 years, $40 million a year on the books, I would be very scared to do it. If it's a 1-year franchise tag, like I guess I want to see like what is your plan for how you're spending that money otherwise that's like better than getting the guy who just got you to 14 wins back on the roster. Like that's where I'm just like, I think there's some logic in it.
I believe they have a good bit of pending free agents as well.
Yeah, a lot of defense, I think, is hitting free agency for the Vikings. They need to revamp the defense and offensive line for sure.
So we still don't really have an answer for the Raiders. The Giants is going to be Shadur probably. Carr probably for the Saints. You know what I haven't heard? What if Geno? What if Geno is not safe? It's totally Najee here. I mean it's disgusting, but it's definitely Najee.
I like Najee. Just curious, who are the other running backs that are even around?
Scadaboo, Corum, Neal, Swift, Dowdle. Yeah, I mean, guys, it brings me no joy to be a Najee Harris Slappy, but I mean, Sam did just point out he is going to be Kareem Hunt on the
Who do you think gets the most out of the free agent running backs? So Najee, Aaron Jones, Rico Dowdle, Javonte.
Najee.
Who you think he gets paid the most?
Yeah. I mean, he'll probably get good running back money. He'll probably get Josh Jacobs-ish money.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it was that high. I think you're right that he doesn't get the most. I think Aaron Jones is probably still the best, but the age is gonna scare a lot of people off. And he
got hurt again. He is his quad this time.
Yeah. I actually think Dowdle is like a good player, but I don't think anybody in the NFL is gonna like pay for that.
No. Okay.
I think we should do a wide receiver, right? Like,
yes.
I kind of like Keon at 124.
Dude, we're just scooping ADP value. No one's getting more closing line value than us.
But Keon, like, certainly a weird rookie season, had the injury in the middle of it, did not finish that strong in the playoffs, but this is still a guy that 1.6 yards per route run, like 600 yards, 4 touchdowns, totally fine. Like that's like, again, very different player, not comparing him to JSN, but that's like a very JSN rookie year stat line right there. And like, who else in the Bills wide receiver room is going to step up? I mean, I think Shakir's locked in, and then it's a bunch of question marks. I'd put a little bit of weight into I'd pick 120. I'd buy on the Keon Coleman, like year 2 bump.
I mean, it's just like, it's theoretically possible. I don't think we got enough from his sample one way or the other.
Yeah.
To say, oh, this guy's terrible or this guy's. I mean, I think he errs on the side of being fine.
I think so too.
There were some flashes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like, I think the Bills, this is going to be gone. I'm going to go over this with Liam tomorrow. I think the Bills made a pretty classic mistake, which is they treated their rookies like a rookie when they're in a Super Bowl window.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs used to do this too. They'd get these rookies. Rashid didn't really start playing. And then this year they're like, okay, well, we actually can't fuck around. Like, you're just starting. You're just starting from week 1, and you got to make your mistakes in the regular season because you can't afford to make them in the playoffs. And the Bills just totally slow played. And then Keon got hurt. But I think the move is we gotta get Keon in and start him right away. They did it with Kincaid too. Kincaid was like a 30% snap share guy for like.
Well, that was smart. Yeah, that was just Dawson Knox is better, so you got to give him some credit for doing that one. But no, I'm with you. Yeah, like I'd be shocked if Keon Coleman is ever like a guy we're taking in like round 3 of fantasy or something like that. But
he could totally be a round 7 Darnell Mooney season style pick.
And I just like, anytime you're tied to the Bills, like the touchdown upside. Like, look at James Cook this year. Everyone's saying, oh, James Cook doesn't score touchdowns. He's too small. He jumps from like 2 touchdowns to like 17. Like, there's something to be said of just like take guys on the Bills, the Eagles, the Chiefs. Like, you can luck into these crazy high touchdown seasons just because these offenses are so good.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. There's just Dylan Raiola is not this good. He's pretty good, but he is like, what if Mahomes was worse and not mobile? So I don't think people are tanking for that. He averaged negative rushing yards per game in his freshman year.
Are people tanking for Arch Manning? That's like the name I know. Is he actually supposed to be that good?
I mean, Arch Manning like literally doesn't play. You know, he runs the Wildcat for fucking.
But he's supposed to next year, right? Like they're making Ewers transfer, so he plays, right? Isn't that the case?
I believe Ewers is just in the NFL draft.
Oh shit. Okay.
I mean, that's what they say.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think he still can technically go back or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. Someone clarify.
Yeah. Ewers declared. Okay.
So he did definitely declare, but I believe there is a way for him to. There's like some special clause if you made the college football playoff, you had a different. Oh my God, it's so bad. Tillman might be our way out here to just randomly find some touchdowns, and we already have
back him up with Kirk Cousins.
With Kirk. Yeah,
I actually like Tillman.
Yeah.
He showed some flashes to me. Another like very weird small sample guy to evaluate, but there was a stretch there where like the entire fantasy community was bought in on Cedric Tillman's the wide receiver 1, like over Judy, over Moore. It only lasted like 2 or 3 games, and then he got concussed. But there was a stretch where people were very bought in on him.
Yeah, no, that's true. There you go. He can withdraw that can't be May 29th. That's after the NFL draft. So that May 29th definitely can't be right. But there's definitely, I don't know. Anthony Amico would know. He would know the ins and outs of this rule. So someone ask Amico.
I saw Amico grinding on figuring out people's like birthdays, and apparently there's some guys where like you can't find their birthdays anywhere. Like Tyler Warren.
Somehow Tyler Warren is a first-round pick, and we don't know how old he is.
That's crazy. Oh man, this is a deep cut. You remember like the Little League World Series pitcher where there was a huge controversy about his age? What's the name here?
His name was Danny something.
Danny L something.
Danny A. Yeah, and he was like 15. Yeah. I do remember.
Danny Almonte.
Danny Almonte. There you go. All right, I think we take an unstacked Trevor Lawrence here and take Evan Ingram and hope that one of these rookie wide receivers. Because I was going to take Loveland, but he just went.
The other thing, I was going to say that in terms of quarterbacks, I like the Lawrence play. The other thing is there any chance one of these rookie quarterbacks lands with Cleveland and we take a swing on like Cam Ward?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's some odds he goes there.
That is a way better. That's just strategy wise. That's way better.
I kind of like that. And I don't know. Like, we'll see where Ward actually lands. I don't know if 144 is going to be like great value for him, but at a certain point, just like getting a quarterback that's locked into starting games makes sense. Versus like taking a stab at like Cousins or Carr, these guys later that have so much more bench risk than Ward. I kind of like
Cam Ward also might run. Like, he didn't run at all last year, but he ran a ton when he was at Washington State. So I wonder if this is a remember CJ Stroud just like randomly ran for 70 yards in the college football playoff semifinal?
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, actually, I just can just do this. Like, I'll just go and do it. I wonder if that is something that
does happen. I mean, you saw CJ Stroud even did that in the playoffs this year a little bit. He started.
Yeah, he had
running.
He had 3 first down rushes against Kansas City. Penix was not drafted like a starter in the big board last year. No,
we
didn't think Penix was going to be a first round pick last year.
You were the day before the draft. If you said Penix was going to be a top 15 pick, you were like openly laughed at. Like that was seen as like a crazy opinion.
People were betting under 4.5 first round quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Me included.
Yeah. Again, shout out. I think Amico. Hopefully, I'm giving him credit, and he wasn't.
No,
I think Amico was over. I think
he was. Yeah, he was on it.
Yeah, he was on it, and everyone. I remember in the ETR Slack, there were some arguments, and Amico came out on top there.
Classic.
Yeah, looking at CJ Stroud in the playoffs this year, 42 rushing yards in both games against the Chargers and Chiefs. Maybe he should just like do that next year in the regular season a little bit.
Is there could there be a total right wing Slappy resurgence of Texan stacks where it's actually Bobby Slowick was the entire problem, and actually they're just immediately good again this year?
Yeah. The right wing CJ Stroud to Robert Woods in the 18th round, that has some value to it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they're gonna bring Diggs back. I think Dell is completely done next year, right? And then I don't know if these like Mechie, Hutchinson, I think they need to add someone else. I don't think any of those guys were getting the job done. They're playing like some wide receiver I'd never heard of in the playoffs, like Jared Wayne.
He's the guy. He's the guy who killed Tank Dell.
Yeah, God. Roshan, right. Get the David Montgomery.
Or K. Dotton, or
okay.
No, Ertz. He said he's not retiring.
I like Ertz.
Yeah. Sadly, my best take from Best Ball last year was Zach Ertz was the best pick in the big board.
It was a good take. I'm not sure it's a take you want known as your best take, but it was a good one.
All right.
Yeah, Ben Sanat came up huge on special teams this year. It turns out not really on offense, but pretty good special teamer.
Kyler, Cam Ward, Bijan, Brees, Najee, Flowers, Tet, Judy, Igbuka, Shaheed, Coleman, Tillman, McBride, and Ertz. Actually, I kind of should be actually jamming Shaheed because I'm kind of fading Olave. Olave, I think 5 concussions since 2020.
I just think like Shaheed, before Shaheed got hurt, he wasn't quite like Rashee Rice, Chris Godwin, like breaking fantasy, but he was kind of like Jameson Williamsing. Like he was like a clear, like late round wide receiver hit that I think if he stayed healthy, he would be going much, much higher. But yeah, the Saints, that's where I'm on two minds in this one, because then I think back to like the Saints offensive environment this year, and it could be so bad. So it's tough. I do kind of like Roshan though, because like there's a good chance they're bringing someone else here, Davis. But if they don't, and it's like Swift and Roshan, I think they're
definitely bringing someone in, but Roshan probably beats that guy out anyway.
Yeah, I don't think like there's anything special about Roshan, but he clearly has shown that like he can do everything. Like he can pass block, he can catch a little, he can do short yardage. He's kind of, Najee on the Najee Harris.
I was gonna say he's really just Najee.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah,
can be a touch absorber for sure.
Like Roshan Johnson is gonna get more touches than Dylan Sampson next year.
Yeah, I mean, come on, who even is that?
He's a 200-pound running back from Tennessee. He's like, he's going to be marketed as like an A-chain style guy.
Jalen Wright, but worse. We're just kind of running that one back.
Yeah. I just like, there are too many good big-bodied guys this year. Like, there are just a bunch of guys who are 220 pounds who I could just be like, oh, that team just drafted him and he's just the starter. Like, if Khalil Mullings gets drafted by the Giants, I'm like, oh yeah, fifth round pick to the Giants, and he's just like easily starting over Tracy. It's like, sure, I buy it.
Something with the Tennessee guys, like whenever I see their stats, I just like think they're fake. And like that's
Well,
mostly proven to be accurate over the last couple of years.
Juwan Jennings, man.
That's true. Okay. So I was wrong there. But was it Jalen Hyatt? He was Tennessee, right?
Jalen Hyatt was Tennessee, and Cedric Tillman.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, actually, I love Tennessee guys since we drafted him on this team. But
Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker.
I mean, the reason why all Tennessee stats feel fake is because of Alvin Kamara. Kamara was like this like scat back at Tennessee. It's like that. It feels like I'm gonna pull his stats up here in a second. All right, we need another running back.
What about your boy Braylon? Are you still on that this year?
No, I still like. I mean, he feels pretty likely. Well, actually, they probably have Brees. We already have Brees.
Yeah.
Kendra. Dennis Allen, man, he's gone. And that is a team that can't afford to waste a pick on a running back. That is a team that cannot spend. These
they
just
drafted Austin Genty in the first round.
These were Alvin Kamara's college stats. 1,900 yards and 23 touchdowns.
How many seasons? That's 2 seasons.
I believe he went to I want to say Independence Community College.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember.
That's crazy.
He went to.
You have Alvin Kamara on your offense, and can we pull up who was getting
Hutchinson?
carries?
Oh wow, he went to the same junior college that I went to for a year. He went to Hutchinson Community College. Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Do we have a CPAT situation going on there as well, or?
It was after I left. It was in 2020. That's very funny though. I also didn't really realize that he was a I must have not been doing prospect stuff really hard then. He was at the University of Alabama, never played, and then Saban cut him. Said, you got to get out of here. I did not know any of this.
That's nuts.
Wow. All right, stay woke to Alvin Kamara's evolving prospect profile.
Yeah, I'm really taking the long view on Alvin Kamara. When you go back to his college production, he really wasn't that productive. That's why I'm in on Kendra Miller this year.
Hey man, if you think about it, Kendra Miller's prospect profile got better last year because his backfield college mate, Imari DiMercado, scored a 70-yard touchdown. People forget.
That is true.
All right. We got to take Derek Carr, right? We took Shaheed.
Yeah, we got Kendra. We got Shaheed. I think Carr is like 85% to be back on the Saints.
Yeah, that is
pulling a number out of my ass, but it seems about right.
Feels good. We are 5. I'm 5 teams into my big board journey, and I've already drafted a team that's just stone dead to win the contest. Amazing.
I think when I come on a stream with you, Davis, we're focusing on other things besides drafting a team. It's we're not necessarily locked in. I don't know our track record of drafting together, but it doesn't always produce.
Well, I mean, it just could not have been that good last year because none of my teams were any good last year.
Yeah, didn't want to say anything, but.
Right,
I think we took. I do remember we took DJ Chark as a bit last year. That's my one memory from one of our teams. So that couldn't have been any good.
Anytime I ever took DJ Chark, it had to have been as a bit.
Yeah, famously more Pro Bowls in his second season than T. Higgins. People do
famously, yeah. All right, what can we do to save this team?
I don't think this team's that bad. We need to hit on some wide receivers for sure.
I mean, look at that running back room. That is Bijan Robinson and a bunch of guys who spent all of last season. Like, these are some of the most tilting guys alive.
Yeah, it's
surely the quarterback room of Kyler Murray, Cam Ward, and Derek Carr has enough ceiling.
It's like, yeah, you look at the running backs, you're like, oh, well, okay, the running backs aren't good, but surely the quarterbacks and wide receivers must be good.
Surely the wide receivers. early tight end, you really lose a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I am erring on the side of Kelsey probably retiring. The other thing is though, is if he does come back, it's going to be in like even more of a reduced role than it was before. Like he's playing 60% of the snaps or something next year if he's back. Like we're talking like Jason Witten on the Raiders snap shares for Kelsey next season.
Yeah, I think so. Dude, it's incredible how slow he looks now. But like he's looked this slow for like 3 years now, and
no, he did not look this slow last year. There's no way.
Okay. I think you're right. It's reached a new level of like
his top speed on that gallop against the Texans was 14 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which
like
is
that move the move he does where he like catches it and immediately like steps backward and then kind of does like the slalom skiing thing. It looks like slow motion. Like I think something on my TV is broken.
So it's funny because his brain is ahead of his body. There's been 3 times this postseason where they've ran like that little screenplay to him and he's just flat dropped the ball because to get his body moving, like he has to start moving before the ball gets there and it wrecks his concentration. It's insane. Okay. We need, I mean, I guess we should take
Boy.
Gabe Davis is actually kind of interesting. Don't shoot me.
Yeah. What was his injury to end the year?
I have no idea, honestly.
Torn meniscus. I don't know if I want. Doesn't sound great.
Could just go all in on the Browns. Oh, Elijah Moore's a free agent. You know what? That's a Kansas City Chief right there.
Elijah Moore is a free agent. I don't hate that.
Yeah, Elijah Moore. Welcome to Kansas City, Elijah.
Elijah Moore's stats a lot. Like he's one of those guys that I think he's had like over 100 targets each of the last 2 years and like hasn't eclipsed like 600 yards. It's like it's not great.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's terrible. But
not gonna lie, he's bad, but
yeah. I think this is actually probably where I land. I don't think Kelsey retires until they lose. So if they win, he is going, and we're coming back for number 4. And if they lose, I think he goes, sorry guys, I got some music videos to star in or something.
Yeah. It's got to be on the sidelines for Caitlin Clark's games and that sort of thing.
It's true. All right. We need a dust ball tight end. We could do Luke Lachey. He's interesting. He's the new Iowa tight end.
Okay. Always down for Iowa tight ends.
I was gonna say there's always one of these guys. Look at that college production. I mean, you just not sure you're gonna beat 893 yards and 4 tuds in 5 seasons.
Wow. That yeah, that's tough. Sophomore year, 400 yards though, not bad. I was gonna say Chig.
Yeah.
But he's gone. What do we take? We could take Juwan Johnson for the Saints stack. That's not the
he's
worst
gonna be a
thing I've
Bronco.
heard. Yeah. Do we
Sean Tucker? Here, I haven't taken any of this guy yet. Jordan James. He's the Oregon guy. He's the Oregon guy this year.
Okay.
I don't really feel any particular way about him, but
any relation to LaMichael James or
God. Is he not? So Arande Gadsden, here's the thing. I actually really like him, but he's basically just worse Harold Fannin Jr. And you can't have 2 slappy 230-pound tight ends who had 90 receptions their final year in the same draft. The NFL is going to choose one or the other, and they're going to say that Fannin is better. Gadsden is going to be the new Jay Samaro. He's going to be a 5th-round pick. He's going to be a rotational tight end 3 for the Jets. It's not going to end well. And I wanted to. I liked him, but
never heard of this guy before, but he's giving Brevin Jordan vibes is my
he literally this will be a good I'm going to pull up his PFF college page. I wonder how many times this guy did a run block in college, cuz I'm going to guess it was literally never.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
All right, Arande Gadsden. Come on, pull up. Crazy name, Aronde Gadsden the second. All right, run blocking.
That is a cool name.
Way more than I thought. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
I stand corrected, dude. I stand corrected. 246 run block snaps. Okay.
6'5", 236. That's pretty slight for a tight end, though. He's gonna have to get those numbers up for sure.
Yeah. I wonder how many for Fannin. How many? I bet Fannin never run blocked. No, okay, more than I thought for both of them.
Yeah.
Stand corrected. I love to learn. All right, who are we doing? Who are we doing for our final pick? We need a tight end.
We could go tight end, yeah.
I think I'm taking a lot of 3 quarterback, 3 tight end teams.
Yeah.
Just feels like, I don't know. I guess that's just playing like a slappy.
No, I think it's playing smart at this point. When you have 20 rounds, I mean, especially when, like, if you looked at the wide receivers, running backs right now, there'd be like nobody left. So,
I'm really interested where this dude, Gunnar Helm goes. My God, a lot of ads on this page. I mean, he's not going to go 30. He's not going to go in the first round. But God, I got to turn my ad blocker on.
I can pull up
projected to go in the 3rd round. I think I'm doing Gunnar Helm. Yeah. Gunnar, he was I believe this is a classic Jatavian Sanders situation where he's going to end up being a 3rd round pick despite the fact that he outproduced per game first round wide. Like he was like more productive per game than Golden and Bond.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. It's like a Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney situation.
Not more productive than Golden, more productive than Bond and Wingo, who's a true freshman.
Okay. That's pretty impressive. I mean, 3rd round draft capital for tight end. That's pretty legit. Seems worth a 3rd round. I mean, this tight end class seems pretty strong. I guess not like as strong as 2 years ago, but it's a pretty deep group just looking at the draft capital.
All right. We owe the room a couple sauces.
All right. I got to jump after this.
Okay. Yeah, I got to get out of here too. All right. We are saucing up the 9 slot and the 12 slot. If I can get this. All right. 12 slot. Where do you get your ideas? Oh, the 11 slot. Brian Thomas, Christian McCaffrey. I don't know, man. I think a 29-year-old running back with the torn Achilles. I think I'm just taking Genty, Chase Brown. That's Amarian Hampton's backup. Kyron Williams. That's Caleb Johnson's backup. David Montgomery. I don't even have to make this one up. That's just Jahmyr Gibbs' backup. Anytime you can buy the ceiling on a quarterback who just threw for 5,000 yards and missed the playoffs, I think you got to do it on Joe Burrow. Jacoby Myers. Love to take Brock Bowers as cuck chair guy. Matthew Golden, you saved it. Trey Harris is probably slower than Travis Kelce. Keenan Allen might be slower than both of them. Justin Herbert, fine. Rico Dowdle, he's going to be the running back 3 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Harold Fannin, as we mentioned, the guy weighs less than Adam Thielen, probably, who you took anyway. Jaden Higgins is like if good Michael Thomas was bad at football. A.D. Mitchell, love to get 10 targets and 3 catches. DeMario Douglas. What are you doing, man? Mike Gesicki, a free agent. Jordan Mason, another Saskatchewan Roughrider. You can't take Gadsden. You can't take Gadsden and Fannin, brother. You got to limit yourself to one. You got to limit yourself to one of Gadsden or Fannin, man.
Do you have Fannin, Gesicki, and Gadsden? That's his tight end room.
That's the tight end room.
You picked 3 guys that can't do any blocking. You basically just took 3 wide receivers at tight end. Derogatorily.
All right. Malik Neighbors, sure, whatever. I love to take Drew Lock's wide receiver 1 in the first round. Drake London, I prefer him when he's named Tet McMillan. He just can't be taken. I actually mean this is not a sarcastic sauce. This is a real sauce. I think the early quarterbacks are just brutal right now, and I think the early tight ends are kind of bad too. Joe Mixon. I mean, just buying the generational top on Joe Mixon. You love to see it. Where do you stand on Chuba Hubbard? Give me some hating on Chuba Hubbard as a 5th round pick. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you just took Jonathan Brooks back up in week 17.
Jonathan Brooks will somehow find a way to come back and like still be useless, but also make Hubbard useless, which is very funny. Caleb Johnson, good pick. Brandon Ayuk must have been watching Liam's stream. Mark Andrews, you must have not watched the playoffs. Isaiah Bond is like if Xavier Worthy, it was faster but worse somehow. Anytime that you can do Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman together, you simply got to do it. Dalton Kincaid, wow, you really didn't watch the playoffs. You took Mark Andrews and Dalton Kincaid. Blake Corum is going to be cocked by any number of guys. Alec Aomanore. I mean, that's just like taking Ted McMillan, but bad. It's JJ Arcega-Whiteside part 2. Wait till you see this guy, Sam. Wait till you see.
Okay,
man, you're
gotta watch him.
Believe it. Jerome Ford, I basically just have a force field in my drafts that like Jerome Ford just doesn't come preloaded. Like literally, what's the point? I don't get it. Sam Darnold, Titans quarterback 1. Alec Pierce, sure. I mean, he's definitely going to duplicate what he did last year.
Yeah, Colts wide receiver 4, solid value.
Colts wide receiver 4. Noah Gray. No, surely the Kansas City Chiefs will just go into 2024 with Noah Gray as their tight end 1 if Kelsey retires. Surely they won't have a plan there. Wow, he unironically did take Nick Westbrook.
That's a good pick. That's just a good pick.
That's a good pick. Oh, incredible.
Put those 10 touchdowns, just write those in ink. Those are locked in.
Yeah, those are there. All right, beautiful stuff. Sam, incredible, man. Next time you randomly, if the Brookings Institute doesn't need you to come to work on a given day, if they give you the day off at Deloitte, you let me know and we will click.
Sounds good, man.
Live button.
Yeah. This is fun.
We miss you on ADP chasing. I'm gonna get out of here. Sam's gonna get out of here. We will be back whenever we goddamn feel. No, I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. with Liam. So if you want,
I'll see you guys in like 6 months probably. But this is fun.
All right. Make sure the internet doesn't go out in your house. Make sure you stay warm. We'll see you later, everybody.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks